The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Welcome to Prime Time, folks, here on WCBS. I'm your host, Jeff, and yes, we're a little late. I apologize, but I got a world-class video coming your way in about 35 seconds. So, tonight, folks, I am joined by my co-host, Andrew, all the way from the Ripperverse. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a heck of a week. I had Dallas Fan Festival this past weekend, so I was there with the Ripperverse. That was a ton of fun. Met some new fans, met some existing ones. Was able to link up with some pretty cool people in terms of networking. I met the creators behind Batman Beyond in person, so that was pretty cool. Like Steve Berkowitz and all that. It was yeah, it was a phenomenal show.
Is that the best
great
spin-off of, everybody complains about changing a character, introducing a younger version, going off the script like Marvel does. But I feel like Batman Beyond is the only one that has no real complaints. Everybody just seems to be on board with that show.
I think it's because they did it organically and they earned it. So the difference between something like taking Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, and then say, let's just go with the easy one, Miles Morales, right? You take what Marvel's done is they took Miles Morales out of the Ultimate Universe, the old Ultimate Universe, and inserted him into the 616 universe. So you now have him acting as Spider-Man when you already have Spider-Man there. Like the whole excuse for his entire creation was that they killed off Peter Parker, right? The whole Red Goblin arc and all that. So it's like, okay, whether or not you like Miles, which I didn't, you at least have the excuse of, okay, so Peter's not around. There's no other Spider-Man. Well, he's just an inferior copy, right? But with Terry McGinnis, with Batman Beyond, you have this really organic passing of the torch. You still have Kevin Conroy's Batman there, like old man Bruce Wayne, and he plays a pivotal role in that. And it's not even, you rarely, if ever, get I'm going to show up this old man type of a deal out of Terry in that, because Bruce is still Bruce. And you even have the episode where Terry asks Bruce, well, how do you refer to yourself as? And Bruce just kind of deadpans him. You know what the answer is. He doesn't even have to word it. And Terry just goes, oh. He still thinks of himself as Batman, right? They did everything Batman. Right. Well, he is, absolutely. They did everything right to where fans could be on board, because the progenitor, the icon, the person we most think of, and should by all rights, as Batman, being Bruce Wayne, was not being disrespected in that show. In fact, they elevated him at almost every possible opportunity.
Yeah, I remember catching that live. The first time it aired, it was on at night, and I was like, "What is this? Is that new Batman show?" And I was hooked ever since. So, anytime it pops on, I usually will stop what I'm doing and pay attention to it. But we have some people in the chat to pay attention to. And folks, I'll be back on camera on Thursday. I have a weird technical issue. It affected the video too, so I got to look into that. I swear the tech gods are affecting me personally. Maybe I've struck a nerve with some videos here on the channel, but that's okay, folks. We speak the world-class truth here to you guys. But we wouldn't have a show without you guys, and we have a very special segment each and every week on the show called The Word of the Day, and thankfully it's always sponsored to us by our pal Shrebbles08. So the word of the day is candy corn. Stop or I'll give you candy corn. Debbie doesn't do candy corn. How Stella got her candy corn, children of the candy corn, and a fist full of candy corn. Now, Andrew, before you give any candy corn titles, just briefly, do you like candy corn?
I learned from a very early age, because I had good parents. They told me not to consume candle wax, so I don't.
I'm controversial here on the channel. I have a wide palate. I like pineapple on pizza. I can eat 1 or 2 pieces of candy corn a season. So
You and Mary both, man. What is...
this isn't directed at you personally, but I do feel that most pineapple on pizza criticism comes from people just reading it on the internet and regurgitating an opinion.
No, I have eaten it.
Then that's fine. That's a valid criticism, and
I've
everybody's
eaten it.
entitled
I
to that
don't like
opinion.
it.
But if you're one of those people that's just like, pineapple on, if you use it as a punchline and you've never eaten it, either eat it or try something else.
No, I don't believe in that kind of nonsense. I try to be consistent. I try to be intellectually honest. If I have an opinion on something, if I say I don't like something, it's because I've actually consumed the thing myself. Otherwise, I will expressly state, like, I saw a trailer for something and I didn't like that. Whether or not I watched the full movie or played the full game or read the whole comic book, whatever it is, or I don't know, like at most I'll say I don't like the concept of the thing. But yeah, I'm not going to just say, oh, well, I hate this thing without ever having actually checked it out myself. No, if I say I don't like pineapple on pizza and don't like candy corn, it's because I've tried them and I do not like them.
So, folks, we are having our 10-year anniversary in 2 weeks. It's going to be an all pineapple pizza stream. The guys and I are going to get pineapple pizzas. We're just going to eat them on air for 2 hours, for 3 hours, for 5 hours. Who knows how long we're going to go live. Actually, the way we're going to do that, we're not actually going to do that. I don't like to eat in a microphone. It's nasty.
I don't either, and it bothers me when people do.
I won't do it. What is it? An ASMR stream of eating. Don't worry, folks. But just because our anniversary happens to fall on a Thursday, the guys and I are getting ready to map out an actual anniversary special on a different day. So if we run long, we can run long. You don't want us to go, oh, it's 10 years of WCBS, and we're cutting out at 8:35 right after we went live.
Yeah, that's rough.
But let me give you some of these candy corn titles because it's Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year, and I don't dislike candy corn. So how about, here's a terrible one. Children. Oh, you already got that one. The Children of the Candy Corn was great. I was like, why does that sound great?
That was a good one. That's a good one right there.
That's the best one. Let's see. Oh, God. How I Met Your Candy Corn.
Clear and present candy corn.
The Candy Corn Who Knew Too Much.
Candy Corn Horizon.
Candy Corn, Earl and Me.
There's something about candy corn.
Let's see. Candy Corn. Wait. Highlander 2, The Candy Cornening.
That's something.
It doesn't sound delicious if you ask me.
No, it doesn't. The Lord of the Candy Corns?
Or The Fellowship of the Candy Corn.
Oh, yeah.
It'll still be better than the Rings of Power on Amazon, though.
Low bar. Low bar.
Okay, folks in the chat, if you hate candy corn, this is a yes or no question for you. Would you consume 1 pound of candy corn once a month to have all your favorite properties redeemed? So that wipes out Disney Star Wars, that wipes out Amazon Lord of the Rings, this HBO remake of Harry Potter. Would you suffer for your art by ingesting one of the most controversial substances on store shelves? Because in America, we have some fucked up food. Like, some stuff, I don't know how it's considered food, like head cheese.
I mean, we have stuff that's banned in most of the countries around the world because it's not considered food.
But we have our candy corn. The chat is loving these titles, by the way. We have Just Joe at Die Hard with a Candy Corn. Lewis says Full Metal Candy Corn.
That's pretty good. Full Metal Jacket.
I like that one. We never.
Or it could be Full Metal Alchemist, technically. Or Full Metal Panic, if we want to go the anime route with those last two.
I support anime and Stanley Kubrick here on this channel. Sherwell's Wait with a great one. Dude, where's my candy corn? Or Dude, who took my candy corn? We have
I like that.
12 Angry Candy Corns. The Candy Corn Strikes Back. I thought it was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Candy Corn. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Taylor Swift. Did you go get the album? I didn't. I was at Target filming the videos for the next week, and, I saw it and I walked by it.
Is she still putting out new albums? I don't know.
Yeah, Target had like a giant kiosk, and people were waiting in line for it, and there was like a lottery system. Yeah.
Lottery system? I mean, I guess I would say credit to her, but it's really her her studio that's getting all the money
She is
from those record sales. Oh, that's right. She's her own shit now.
When did this become Taylor Swift hour? I guess because our audience has Taylor Swift in the name.
I don't know. Let's move away from this topic before Matt G pops into the chat and starts changing his name back from Sabrina Carpenter to Taylor Swift.
He already did.
Oh, mother.
I assume that's Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swift.
I hate everything.
Oh, that's a channel I used to watch. Or yeah, that was a channel. Anyway, folks, let's talk about some stuff that you love to make fun of. Now, this week we have 3 topics that we're going to discuss. And again, I apologize, I'm not on camera already in world class. But after tonight's stream, you can check out our video. Real briefly, too, before we jump in, shout out to all of our new listeners. Last week's video has turned into a hit for WCBS. That's 2 in a shorter period of time, so the algorithm is favoring us. So thanks, algorithm. We appreciate it. But what I actually appreciate more than anything is you guys checking out our content and sharing it. I've been looking at those numbers. You guys are sharing a lot more. So jump on the share train and share tonight's video on James Bond. You know I'm a diehard fan, but you got to hear what I have to say about it. I won't spoil it tonight. We're going to make you wait with anticipation. But this subject has been so big to me right now that it made me watch one of my least favorite James Bond movies and reassess it. And that film is Diamonds Are Forever.
Okay.
Who the hell have I become? I watched it today, and I was like, I don't dislike this one as much. So, shit happens, folks, when you go through great trauma. Now, I wish we would have been live.
My Lord.
Yeah, we were late last week. I was sick, actually. That's why we didn't have a show. Sorry, I was so sick I forgot why I wasn't live. But no, got that under control. I'm better now. You heard me on Thursday, so I wasn't dead. Maybe I'm a live recording. But, Andrew, money doesn't grow on trees unless you're Disney, where it must
Lord, I wish it did.
I wish it did, too. I have 3 trees in my front yard. I would just go out there and pick out the $100 bills and, I don't know, buy a new house. But I don't have that yet. My money tree will grow in about 12 weeks. Long story short, though, you and I don't have $400 million. The chat combined does not have $400 million. But apparently, Disney has $400 million to just flush down the toilet. So, guys, in the chat, I know you heard this one, so we're going to keep this one brief. But I saw this, and I thought to myself, what the hell and how the hell? First off, what the hell are you lying to us for? Because just be honest, the movie sucked, so admit how much you spent. And how does it cost so much? Well, apparently, it's $400 million to de-age Harrison Ford, which is a benefit for us when we make the Stealing Solo movie, because he's meant to be old. We don't need to de-age him. We want him to be as current and crotchety as he always is. But $400 million to cash in on the past. I think that's the big story here. They will spend any amount of money to trick the audience or manipulate their emotions to make them feel like they're experiencing their childhood again. And I think that is one of the single biggest downfalls in modern entertainment. It's not making money. It doesn't make sense. It just makes Frankenstein projects like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. What did you think about this price tag?
So I didn't know what the actual number was. I didn't wind up looking it up, but I had heard from a couple other people that I know that the number for Dial Destiny was just astronomical. And so is this pre-marketing or is this with marketing?
This is Forbes.
Either way, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. It was pulled from the financial filings in the UK, tax credits, including a reported 46.2, that's those pounds, $66.7 million UK rebate. The expenditure places the film among the most expensive ever made. Earlier budget estimates had ranged between $295 and $387, but Reed's analysis shows how overages and unforeseen costs pushed it higher. We'll introduce Script Doctor, and then we'll jump back into the script. What is up? How's the land of the great white polar bear, great white buffalo, whatever's white in Canada? How's it doing?
I have moose.
Oh, well, we've got me. I'm probably the whitest thing in Canada right now. But yeah, just wrapped up our production meeting, so happy to be here with you gentlemen. And speaking of like cost, boy, did we talk about that. And of course, Disney running away with their checkbook, as it's not really their money, other people's money, actually.
See,
I was going to say, how much of this is that like the kickbacks and rebates and like pre-sales stuff?
Well, it's mostly like pre-sales, product placement deals. I mean, that's the thing, right? The studios, they don't really spend their own money, and the losses that are reported are not physical losses; they're potential losses. Like they'll say the estimate, oh, we spent $250 million on this movie. We are aiming for at least $800 to $1 billion worldwide box office. And if they don't hit that, then they're like, well, we've now lost, $260, $300 million because everything they spent their money on was to have that outcome. But what's funny is that it's not their money. It's AMC's money, Cineplex money.
Right.
It's sometimes it's a repertory theater's money if they have a small chain. It's the cars, like it's Mazda, it's Toyota, it's General Motors, it's Motorola for cell phones, or Apple for iPhones, or sometimes Microsoft. Any of those product placements going in there is all money that the studio doesn't have to spend themselves to do, but they have an obligation to spend as much of it as possible so that it all goes into the production. And what's funny, especially recently, is that there's this new mentality with producers and with actors and other members of production where they're trying to get as much money up front because they know on the back end deal it's not guaranteed anymore. That's why you have these inflated budgets that are like, over 180 and close to $500 million.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you were thinking about this, since you work in the industry. But my jaw has been on the floor before. But somehow this time I wasn't surprised because it is the Lucasfilm edict to just throw money at a problem, to just throw money into a hole and assume that, hey, people will go back because of nostalgia, or they'll look at this marketing and think it's great. But I subjected myself to the torture that was this film 2 years ago at this point. I don't think about it. I don't own it. That's the one I don't own. I own 3 copies of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but 0 copies of the Dial of Destiny.
Why?
But why?
Well, I got Karen Allen back. That's nice.
Yeah. The reason why, Andrew, is because I own 3 Indiana Jones box sets.
Oh, well, okay. That's
The
fair.
Kingdom
It's
of the
part of the
Crystal
package
Skulls and
deal.
all of them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. So
You don't
if you
think I'm
bought
going
that
out
thing
to Target and going,
individually,
let me get a Indiana Jones 4 on 4K UHD by itself? Am I that kind of guy? The answer is no. Just don't even hesitate.
listen, man, I understand the pull of a deal. Like, well, shit, I might not ever watch it, but $750 for a 4K, I'll grab one.
I have literally seen The Force Awakens for a penny on Amazon, but you had to pay $3.95 shipping. I still said no.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, folks, you've known that I've hated that movie for a full decade. I'm not going to all of a sudden go like, oh man, $1.92 and I can own The Last Jedi? No. That won't happen. Folks in the chat, let me know a movie that, even if it was free, you would turn it down. Like if I showed up to your house and after you were surprised that I knew where you lived, and I had a movie in my hand, what would be the movie that would make you shut the door in my face? It's got to be one of the biggest pieces of crap. I need to know.
That's hard to do.
I mean, definitely the last 2 entries of the Disney trilogy for sure. That's easy.
TJ says if I show up with a copy of Twilight, he's slamming the door in my face. All right, that's fair.
I could agree with that.
That's fair. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's at least competently made. And
is it better than The Dial of Destiny?
I don't know. I've never seen Twilight.
Either.
The only thing I've seen is in a video
Monkey
store
scene
where they're playing baseball in the rain. Like that's the only scene I saw, and I'm like, that's stupid. But at least the cinematography is good.
Baseball's literally one of those sports where, like, if it's raining, they call off the game.
Yeah, but they're vampires. They live forever. They know no bounds of sporting. I don't know. I can't watch that shit. That is the definition of a movie that's not for me.
Yeah,
if I'm watching Twilight, I'm either hanging out with a woman or we're not sober, and that's the only time I ever saw one scene of that film. They all killed each other, and then it was a dream, and I turned it off after I was severely disappointed. Let's see. The chat says if you showed up with Twilight, if you showed up with The Fourth Kind, I saw The Fourth Kind in theaters. I wouldn't subject you to that overkill. The Full Monty. Haven't seen it. I know it's
That's
about
a funny
naked
movie,
guys.
though.
It's got a Bond villain in it, Robert Carlyle.
Got a Bond villain in it. I think it's also got a one of an actor that's guest started on keeping up appearances on that.
All right.
You know what? This is one that might piss off the chat. Just about anything that has Will Ferrell in it.
Really? Even old school?
I don't like Will Ferrell. If he's in a movie,
Anchorman?
I can't watch. I don't like Will Ferrell.
Have you ever seen Stranger Than Fiction?
Oh, Stranger in Fiction.
I have not seen that one, no.
That's his serious movie.
Yeah.
And I liked it enough to buy it, so...
It's a dark comedy.
I don't like any of his comedies, at least any of the ones that I've seen, because I don't think he's funny.
So you're talking about like him and the Adam McKay duos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say watch Stranger.
And like his stuff, like,
like
Elf.
It's not a Will Ferrell comedy. It's a dark comedy that happens to have Will Ferrell in it, and he doesn't play Will Ferrell.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that'd make a great comic book, but they made a movie first, so oh well. But the Dial of Destiny, because we'll get back on topic. I swear I don't have adult ADHD. Just it's been a long day, and I'm caffeinating at 9:45 at night, so that'll end well. But I wanted to get your take on this, man, because we had heard rumors that Star Wars The Force Awakens cost $400 million, $430-something million. And they made their money back on merchandising. Indiana Jones didn't make money on merchandising. It has been at Ollie's for a long time. That's the only reason I picked up some of the figures. Where is the appeal of Indiana Jones in the modern day? I thought, what was that, almost 20 years ago at the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that they learned their lesson that it really doesn't resonate with the modern audience because, yeah, it came back, and yes, it made like $785, but it doesn't catch on. Like, you can't bring out a movie every 20 years and expect generations to have grown up because there's no more monoculture. It's not like, we all grew up in the 90s when if Adventure had a name, it must be Indiana Jones. They sold the tapes at McDonald's. They had the big re-release at the end of the 90s. Like, Indiana Jones games and books and shit were part of the 90s. The computer games were hugely popular.
Diversified market of the IP, yeah.
Well, it wasn't in the cultural zeitgeist anymore, right?
No.
So for the current generation, this, whatever generation we're in now, that's completely stupid. They don't have an attachment to this IP, and they're also not that much of a movie-going audience either. We're talking about a generation that's used to just like watching stuff on Netflix and binging a season because Netflix and other streaming services will often, not always or exclusively, but often they'll just drop a whole season, day one, or maybe they'll drop the first few episodes and then like the next week they'll drop the rest of it. And it's like, so you have no longevity to the thing. People just binge it and then they're done because people's attention spans are non-existent. This is a TikTok generation. This is a generation where there's encouragement of watching YouTube shorts and putting up YouTube shorts on your YouTube channel. I'm honestly shocked that they increased recently, like within the last year, like the length that qualifies for a short on YouTube or a reel on Instagram or Facebook, because I don't know if that actually means that people's attention spans are starting to grow.
No,
again.
it means that they're putting an ad in there.
No, oh, well, there you go. There it is. I had YouTube Premium, and I got no time for ads. But yeah,
what you're describing is so. You're describing about the instant response impulse syndrome, which is basically when we were children and we had like a speak and spell or like some sort of like toy that you pull a ripcord and it spins an arrow around and it lands on an object and you hear that object sound. Mm-hmm. That's an instant gratification, and that is just used to try to develop our senses. But when it went digital, it became an addictive aspect to it. Mm-hmm. And then now it's basically said we've now conditioned at least 3 generations to have a tiny attention span. So even when you do binge a show or drop a entire season of a show on Netflix, the binging is rarely for the people under 20 group. It's people between 20 and 40.
Yeah, I'm closer to 40 than I am 20. That's for sure. I just turned 37, I think. Maybe.
Yes,
that's about right.
Yeah, probably 37. That sounds right. Jeff, you tell me, because we're basically the same age.
I'm still 36, my friend. 2 weeks from
that's
today,
right.
I will turn 37.
You're almost there. You're almost caught up. But yeah, so like Indiana Jones is just an IP that didn't have enough of a presence to to justify that much of an expenditure, that much of an investment, even though, yes, you're getting, these kickbacks and these pre-sales and all this stuff that does lighten the blow for Disney.
Well, it's not a justification.
Specifically.
It's not justification. It's like when you're working at a company, you're given an annual budget. If you don't spend every dollar of that, then whatever you don't spend will be cut from your budget the next year.
Right, but there was no. It's hard to. I can't pick another word than justify right now, because you bring back this IP and sometimes you might get lucky with an older IP, right? And you might actually, maybe it hits and people are like, oh, wow, what's this?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get a Top Gun Maverick. But for whatever reason, Indiana Jones didn't do that. Now, I've not seen Dial of Destiny, and I have no intention on changing that. So that could also be a matter of quality of the film. But I think it also has to do with just like there's not that much interest in the IP in general outside of those of us who were fans of it like earlier on in our lives, right?
Well,
like I adore the original.
Excuse me. It hasn't crossed the generation, but the other aspect is it's a very recognizable IP in a period of time where we have not had any brand new original IPs to compete against. So we had a decade where Marvel dominated the culture.
They were the culture. They were the box office space.
And there's nothing to diversify it across. Like Warner Brothers was screwing the pooch on DC. We didn't have any Harry Potter. We didn't have any Lord of the Rings. We didn't have any new IPs coming in aside from maybe John Wick, which, I mean, good for what it is. Didn't really had an impact, but nowhere near as huge as
it did well for what it was.
Yeah, Star Wars had a resurgence, but then that pittered out. It's all the other part too is that Disney was unfortunately the steward of between 2010 and 2020, and that was horrible. But the other part too, and I'll look at it this way. So, Andrew, Jeff, you guys say, okay, we're going to make a movie. We need to get $180 million. Great. You go out to all the markets there. You pitch your film and you say, this is how much we're looking for. From you guys, we're only looking for maybe $10 million. Well, you pitch 100 people. And then all of a sudden they get back to you and say, you know what? Yeah, we'll be happy to give you $10 million each. So now you've got a billion. Now you got over $1 billion that came in. Everybody giving you $10 million from 100 people or so. $100 million, $1 billion. I'm not doing math right now. I've been up for 18 hours.
You're good, man. We're not worried about it. None of us are bean counters here. We're
all
not
that money, right? And so now you're like, man, if all these investors find out that we didn't spend their $10 million, we're going to have to give this back.
Right.
So now you have to spend now a modest budget movie of like $100 million now has to have 10 times the budget in order to justify taking in all that money. Mm-hmm. And then whatever deal you have with regards to like exclusive promotions or showings or what have you, you're now indebted to them in a sense that they're giving you this money so that when they showcase it in their theaters, they're going to get that $10 million back and then make a profit off of that. And you haven't spent any of your own personal money except for maybe whatever you did to wine and dine them and pitch to each individual. Mm-hmm. But now you have to realize like, okay, well, let's say I only spend $100 million and I keep, the $900 million left on the side. Well, when you do your taxes and when the audits come in and then when you have to do your follow-up with the investors, they're going to be like, wait a minute, I gave you $10 million. These 99 other people gave you $10 million. You only spent $120 million on it. Where's the rest of the money? Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay. And then now they're going to either demand it back. And if you don't give it back, they're going to sue you, in which case that's going to have higher incurred fees. And this is actually something that's happened in the industry, especially with Canon films. That's first they started to pocket the money, and then they realized, oh, if we don't spend this and start making tons and tons and tons of productions, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And then what happens next? Well, they produce more things than they ever got money enough to claim, and then got in the exact opposite trouble. But no, Sander Hammerslag is 100% right. It sounds like the producers, because it is the producers. What the producers does, what Mel Brooks Producers does, is 100% real. Not every producer does it and operates that way, but that is how the mechanics work. And with Disney, when you're saying Disney, passes $400 million in costs, that's because they probably, Disney, when they pre-sold Indiana Jones, they pre-sold it 4 years before. I think they pre-sold it in 2016. So when Disney was getting $1 billion a movie minimum each time. So when they can pre-sell something like that, they got $400 million.
Right. See, it's like how the housing market and interest rates used to be. Like it's essentially like when things are really looking good, you're gonna go, hey, things are going great for us. You want to invest in us because you're gonna get a major kickback back. Right?
Well, it's not kickback. It's a legitimate return. A kickback.
Return on investment rather.
Yeah.
An
So
ROI.
like if you're Disney and you're in the 2016 film market and you say, we're going to have 3 Marvel films, we're going to have a Star Wars film, and we're going to make an Indiana Jones film. Everybody's going to give you whatever you want in order to make sure that they have a taste of that when it comes to when it's showcased in their theaters, especially when
if you're mid to late 2010s Disney,
like if you're selling to 50 film markets, you are making several hundred millions of dollars. You're not spending a single dime of your money. Like even one of the productions I'm working on right now, everybody that's on it, that came up with the idea, that made all the investments, you know how much money they spent on themselves? They spent $4,000 just building the pitch, and it's a $60 million production, and not a single thing came out of pocket from anyone. It's all
you need to teach me how to do this.
I'll
pay you $4,000.
I was about to say that's fantastic math. I really like that math, and I'm not good at math.
Dude, it is really hard to do that because you have to know the right people. You have to be at the right time for when they're willing to invest in a market. The economy needs to be good. These guys, they pulled this off like before Trump came in office. So they got the money beforehand, and then they put it all away where they needed to so that they could get production for this summer and fall. And like I've already heard some of the investor calls where they're like, man, we're so happy we gave you this money beforehand because now we would never have done it because it's horrible out there. But that's how it works. And for Disney itself, the way that they're losing money, it's always on potential earnings. And the reason why the board hasn't been expunged, the reason why the stock prices is still relatively, okay for it, even though it's highly inflated, in my opinion, is because Disney doesn't spend their own money when it comes to film and television. They spend other people's money, and they leverage their reputation in order to get those. And they're essentially like glorified loans with zero interest. And that's why, I mean, the other part too that theaters and pre-sellers are not too happy about is how quickly studios are pulling their films out of theaters, because the longer a movie is in theaters, the more percentage the theater collects off the ticket sales. So they make more money off of that. And it's like, well, you're going to get 45 days to 6 weeks in theaters.
But how are they getting much money on the, like, how are they getting much on the return after that, though? Like, DVD sales, or Blu-ray and 4K sales can't be, like, that big anymore.
Well, the thing is, it's that game, the physical...
Or is it, like, selling to streaming services?
Well, it's a scalable distribution, right? So, for instance, a terrible movie, I'm trying to think of a terrible...
They've got one pulled up on the screen right now.
No, I mean one from one from the 80s, like Delta Force 8 from Canon Films.
They made 8 of those?
No, I'm making up a title.
Oh, okay.
Although if they did make 8, I will have to see it because I need to. I'm a completionist of that franchise.
Okay.
But Canon Films made that. When Canon Films went under, let's say Warner Brothers bought the rights for Delta Force 8. Well, their distribution model of just physical media and then transferring it over to like digital sales and streaming, it still makes them money because there's no additional expenses anymore. When they're licensing it out, the only expense is the legal fees to create the license. So Dial of Destiny, sadly, not really sadly, but eventually will turn a profit. It won't be for another 30 years, but it'll turn a profit because it's already made. It's out there. It can be copied. It can be reproduced. It can be redistributed to new forms and new platforms. If holographic technology exists, they can make you an immersive audience member into the movie at pennies on the dollar compared to a brand new production, because everything is already there and AI can extrapolate whatever it needed to fill in the gap.
It's like why comic book companies like the trade model, because it's stuff that they already have printed, stuff they already paid for. They already paid the colorist, they already paid the writer, they already paid the illustrator. Inker, if they had one, all they have to do is literally just slap a slightly harder cover on it and then sell it.
Yeah, harder cardstock cover, resell it, and if there's a royalty contract with the creatives involved, they get their percentage, and then you have a republished brand new thing that saves also collectors sometimes because some can't find the original back issues. So you get, you get that story arc.
Or you have schmucks like me, where if I like the story enough with the single issues, those are bagged and board and sealed in my short and long boxes. And if I want to reread it,
and you
I'll
get the
reread the
for
trade.
whole thing. Exactly.
Same.
That's just how it works. That's why, it's the same model of traditional publishing back in the day. When the printing press came out, you were making books and getting them out there, and you're making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in your first couple of years, because you're selling those books for like 50 or 60 cents at the time. You're just mass printing them. And with movies, it's a mass medium production. The difference being is that everyone now can make their own content and put it out there, and now you've got an oversaturation where the only thing that catches on that really makes money is if it hits the cultural zeitgeist and everybody wants to get behind it. But the other part too is our cultural zeitgeist, what we grab onto and what we hold on to, is so fleeting. Like the Minecraft movie came and went, but it made almost nearly $1 billion.
I was about to say that thing made a crap ton of money, and then nobody talked about it afterwards.
Exactly.
But it made a lot of money. I don't know how much it cost to make. Oh, that's right. That actually did well, which shocked all of us, because wow, people actually wanted to go see that. Hey, I guess there was an audience for it. What do I know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question. How do you, using this, what we just talked about, Indiana Jones and pre-sales and not spending your own money, how do you think a movie like Tron's going to be affected? Do you think Disney's going to have another flop on their hand, or do you think?
Critically, it's going to be a flop. The way Disney's going to market this is that they'll do a physical box set of all 3 Tron films, probably with a Tron documentary, which is made by Robert Meyer Burnett.
Have they remastered that original one?
A couple both of them.
Oh, they have? Okay.
They both got 8K remasters, and the
8K?
Yep.
Yeah, they're only a 4K disc, but they remastered them in 8K. And they cost $75 on disc because the steelbook sold out and everybody's jacked up the price. Like, that's like the hottest thing right now. Everybody wants I want to get them.
Don't get me wrong. I liked both of them, actually. Like, I've seen the original, and that was a really good movie. And I actually liked the other one that Disney...
Tron Legacy.
I love that movie.
Like, that movie was really fun. I saw it in IMAX with my dad, and we both had a fantastic time. It was like, wow, that was really cool shit. This new one, like, the trailer looks cool. I don't have like an emotional attachment to the franchise. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's Jared Leto, so I have no interest in seeing it. I don't actually have much against Jared Leto, aside from I think he doesn't get reined in enough when he's acting.
Jared Leto has never been in a successful movie.
Yeah.
He's just good looking and women like him, but not enough to fork over.
Not enough to pay money for it.
Yeah. I mean,
at least not for a movie.
Yeah, because Requiem for a Dream, great movie, but that did not make any money. Like,
it's got a fantastic score, though.
I'm hard pressed to think of other films that Jared Leto has been in that are any good or have any cultural impact.
Well, American Psycho.
Well, yeah, but he gets killed in the halfway part.
That's why.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Yeah,
and in Fight Club he gets his face beat in.
Yeah.
I just think this is Tron Ares is like such a bad decision to have him as the lead. It's like when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool," and then I was like, "Oh yeah, Jared Leto is in this movie," and we'll talk about it for the channel. I have a video, but I think Disney kind of inadvertently sabotages Tron. They just don't know what to do with it.
Well,
ever.
That's the thing. So Disney got very lucky in 1982 with Tron because it's one of the only IPs that they created. I mean, it's not based off anything. It's 100% original.
Yeah, it's not a rewrite of a Grimm's Brothers fairy tale.
That's exactly. And so and then they also had another one, I think, The Black Hole. Both did okay. I mean, there used to be rumors that The Black Hole is a huge financial bomb, but no, that's not true. But Disney is not a creative company. Never has been when it comes to story and art. When it comes to engineering, when it comes to the practicalities of filming, they find some of the most amazing people in the world. But when it comes to like writing a story, developing characters, doing something that really creates a cultural impact, it's not them. Like Toy Story, people think that's Disney movie. It's not. It's Pixar. Disney's just a distributor. It wasn't until years later when Disney bought Pixar.
Yeah.
Disney is the ultimate plagiarist of a company. I mean, that's why Simpsons make a funny joke with regards to Itchy and Scratchy and that whole thing of like, the guy who created Itchy and Scratchy really didn't create Itchy and Scratchy. He stole it from another dude who's now homeless. And, that's their saying a commentary. It's like, yeah, Walt Disney, we're not saying he stole anything. We're just telling you not a single thing he did was really original or creative. But he knew how to hit a market. He knew how to find the right people to do some amazing things. I mean, his chroma key technology that Disney had when they did Mary Poppins was lost for 3 decades. And then it was only rediscovered in like the mid to late 90s. And at that time with digital, they still couldn't figure out how to repurpose it for a digital. And I think it wasn't until like Corridor Crew kind of figured out a way to do it. And this is for film geeks out there listening, chroma key is when you have like a green screen or a blue screen and you insert an artificial image behind it. However, one thing that chroma key can't do when you use green screen or blue screen is transparent materials. So like if you have like say a shawl on your actress and it's like transparent and see-through, well, chroma key will block that out and you'll have some distortions. But Disney found a way to do that using yellow light and a prism. And that's why when you watch Mary Poppins and she's in the cartoon in the chalk drawing and she's dancing with the penguins, you can see right through the scarf that's around her hat and around her neck, which is transparent. The background doesn't change. It's transparent to the background. And that's all from that technique that they used back in the early 1960s. Nowadays, I'm working on productions where they're trying to figure out how to do that again. And it's like, that's a Disney technology brilliance aspect of the rotoscoping techniques that Disney invented were great. People kind of have this weird perception of Disney animation cartoons that the stories are good when it's not what made people watch them. What made people watch them is the lifelike movement that was captured in those cartoons that had never been seen before. Because have you watched the original Snow White? It is a dumb film.
Yep.
It is really dumb. And it's short, but it's beautifully animated. It's got some great musical numbers. It bastardizes the actual story. Takes all the comedy out of it. But I mean, the transformation of the queen into the Wicked Witch before she goes and gives Snow White the poison apple. Amazing stuff. Then you also have the famous, the repurposing of the Bear in the Jungle Book with the bear and the Robin Hood. They just copy the actions as well. They also, I think they did the same thing for like Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin, if I'm not mistaken, for another production. Maybe that wasn't Disney, maybe it was someone else. I can't remember. But it was always the impressive animation that made Disney what Disney was. I think the only movie that really resonated strongly with story was maybe Pinocchio, because they didn't really stray too much from that. But it was all like, oh, the transformation scene in Cinderella, which oddly enough was copied 45 years later with Lou Schreiber and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, followed by She-Ra. Like they used the same technique that was done from that point. I have the power type of thing. All started by Disney. But when you try to think about, okay, well, what's something that Disney did while Walt was alive that was culturally impactful when it came to character and story, the same way that you would get like a Star Trek or like a James Bond or like a Jaws, Apocalypse Now, a Godfather. Yeah, they're all different genres, but you can talk ad nauseum about all those films. Can you do the same thing for a Disney animated film that isn't really just focused on the animation or the abstract morals of family films at the time, or the Disneyfication model?
Not really, not off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And that goes to the culture. That's also why Disney in Hollywood was never a top-tier studio. They were an animation studio that turned into a theme park company that happened to make film and television to advertise their theme park, because that's how they were able to stay alive. And then just think of it as this way: when you have a company, you have a company that does that. Its entire form of entertainment is advertising, and now it buys intellectual properties in a market that it's never reached before, a male market. And what do they do with it? Well, they advertise it as a female franchise, because they only knew how to sell to girls, because girls were the only ones that wanted to watch their movies, buy their merch, live in the fantasy worlds of finding Prince Charming and singing fun songs. And because guys, like when we were kids, if boys are singing songs as a kid, it's a dirty song that would get them in trouble with their parents. With girls, they're singing pop songs, they're singing love songs, they're singing things that no straight guy would ever say.
It's usually Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, something like that.
Robin did lay an egg.
He did. Joker laughed, gotten away. So that's kind of how we got here. And then the other part too is they've always purchased, like Disney. They purchased the stories for the Brothers Grimm. They couldn't retain the rights, so they had to Disneyfy them to create a new version of their IP that they could be wholly owned by themselves. That's why the Seven Dwarfs have names. They never had names before. That's why the ending for Snow White and Sleeping Beauty is almost the same. A prince kisses her to come back awake. That's what they had to do. And then then as the economy changed, as production changed, as sales and marketing expanded to become far more global than it ever has been before, you have a company like Disney that spent $4 billion for Marvel, $4 billion for Star Wars, and are saying, well, we need that money back. We know we're not going to get it in the box office, so we have to start making some high cost productions to get that money up front. And we can easily, like, there's no way you will see $400 million on the screen when watching that Dial of Destiny.
No.
But you know what? I guarantee you $350 million of those dollars probably went to pay off a little bit of that Lucasfilm purchase. And they just found an interesting way with Hollywood accounting to make that work. Same thing with the $500 million budget for The Rise of Skywalker, the rumored $400 million budget for The Force Awakens. All of that upfront expenses can be used to go against the purchase of those IPs.
Is that why Kathleen Kennedy ultimately is the president of Lucasfilm? Because while she's terrible creative, she knows the money side of everything?
I mean, well, she's a deal maker and she's a problem solver when it comes to production, not when it comes to development. Very different thing. I mean, I'm of the conspiracy that her and Bob Iger worked together to try and get George to sell Lucasfilm to Disney, and that's why Rick McCallum left rather suddenly, and why George Lucas picked Kathy because
he was a George guy.
He was a yes man to George, and he would never have left, but he did. He went over to Austria and he started his own independent production company out there. But he left, and then the rumor is that Iger, when Rick said he was leaving, Iger suggested Kathleen as a good option to replace him. And then, lo and behold, they make the deal. And then what happens? Well, Kathleen's now next in line and therefore becomes president of Lucasfilm. George Lucas retires. And Bob's your uncle. You have this new empire that is taken over.
It's the First Order.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
I mean, it's just so weird because I've been searching for interviews of Rick McCallum around the time when he left Lucasfilm. Can't find any. Can't find a reason why he left. Don't even know if he'll ever talk about it. If anyone's in Austria and they know where or maybe even Romania, I think he's shooting something there right now, and you bump into him, ask him, hey, why'd you leave Lucasfilm? See if he answers. And if he does answer, tell me, please. I'm curious. And if he doesn't, then it's probably has to do with
that's
something.
Kind of an answer of sorts if he doesn't, right?
The best kind of answer. Answer of omission.
I mean, and I think this was this was a plot most likely by Bob Iger since he made the deal for the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. He's like, man, I'm with Disney right now. I'm with ABC. I'm moving my way to Disney, deeper into the realms there. If I could get George to sell us Lucasfilm, I would be as close to the top of impact for this company right after Walt himself. That's what I would not be surprised if Bob Iger thought that.
Those are some ego barriers right there.
I mean, he's gotten there already, but it has nothing to do with the good choices he made. It's all with the negative cultural impact from it.
Do you think he actually cares about that, or is he just gonna and I mean, hold on, folks. When we get a button, when we get a super chat at a certain level, we have to hit a special button. But we have 3 Steiner-sized super chat buttons. Should we give him the OG? We're going to save the skateboarding presidents for later. Should we give him the OG or the babyfied version? Andrew?
Let's do the babyfied one.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the 3-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, if we used to go one-on-one, and then add 66 2/3%, I got 141 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice.
Oh, yes, they do. I wish I was on camera right now because you could have seen me laughing at baby Scott Steiner. But, folks, first off, thank you to everybody who's supporting the show tonight. We will read everybody's messages in just a moment, but we do have our Scott Steiner button. As soon as we hit a number, we got to hit the math. But this comes from our friend Rod Thunderheart, who says, "Hail, Jeff, script, and, guy. Few bucks to promote See-Through Love, a Spanish teacher who can become invisible when angry, but when aroused, it happens uncontrollably. Let me reread this again. I'm sorry. I'm so hyped up. It says, few bucks to promote See-Through Love, a Spanish teacher who can become invisible when angry, but when aroused, it happens uncontrollably. Is shocked to discover the new gym teacher is blind, but can see her when she's invisible." Now, folks, I do have a copy of See-Through Love. I have a physical hardback copy from our friend Rod Thunderheart because I want to support ideas. We're talking about how Disney does not have cultural impact, how Disney does not create stuff that people are talking about. Well, people are out there because we have the modern technology for everyone to create. And people like Rod Thunderheart are actually out there doing it. So, folks, if you want to check out and reward creativity, well, check out See-Through Love from Rod Thunderheart. I did. I had a good time with it, and hopefully you guys do too. But, Rod, thank you very much for all the support. One day, when I make it up north, we'll have to hang out. We'll get, beer, donuts, and poutine, and we'll talk about See-Through Love sequel. Script Doctor, you'll be there too, hopefully.
It depends on which province you're in. But yeah, we can try and make that work. It takes several hours to fly across this country.
We'll make Rod Thunderheart go to wherever you are, so I have an excuse to hang out with you and him at the same time.
And then we'll go to Toys R Us.
Yeah, when you sent me that picture earlier of Toys R Us, I was so not even jealous or upset. I was just thinking back to Toys R Us that closed here and all the good times and good memories I have. Like, I'm going to go out and see that Charming Taint Man movie just because he takes place in a Toys R Us. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. It's it's called like Roof Man or something like that, but it's supposedly based on a true story. A guy commits a crime. He hides out on a Toys R Us ceiling for like months on end to avoid the cops, but then he ends up falling in love with this lady at Toys R Us. It sounds like something I would have wrote, so I got to check it out. But I got to check out Toys R Us, where, I mean, I don't know what the conversion rate right now is from the U.S. dollar to the Canadian dollar, but
131. So
okay.
You get an extra 38 cents for every dollar in the you have.
Oh, wow. Even with our crappy inflation right now, that's something.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Maybe I'll find an action figure that won't cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, heck, you might even throw in a couple of arm and legs for spare parts for you.
Rod does have a thunder. Rod does have a thunder.
It's a thunder chat.
Thunder
Wow.
chat.
A thunder chat.
I think that's what we should call
That's
the
what we have
50
to call it.
Yep.
I think a high price super chat is now Thunder Chat. Like, each one's gonna have a new name, folks. For the
I think
10-year
that's it.
anniversary. So we have a Thunder Chat from Rod Thunderheart, who says, "Hail WCBS! You can find See-Through Love at Friesen Press. It's cheaper there rather than other places. It's a romance, martial arts, sci-fi, comedy, drama, and spy thriller."
That's a lot of genres.
but I like all those. Well, romances are hard for me to digest in terms of like romance movies because I usually laugh at them. But I love all these genres, and together, well, you make a great mix.
It's like a
Could you
stew.
throw? Yes, we don't need too many cooks here. You guys ever seen that video?
Oh yeah,
Mm-mm.
that was a funny video making fun of my industry, the writing aspect of it. Too many cooks in the kitchen, too many producers making choices.
We used to have a drinking game to it where we would drink every time they said too many cooks.
You might get a you might get a liver damage from that.
I haven't been checked, but I haven't had any recurring damage. This was like 10 years ago when I drank.
Oh yeah, you'll be
so,
fine if it hasn't happened by now.
Yeah, I drink mostly water. I'm an old man, even though
Yeah, I'm water, orange juice every once in a while. I'm coughing like the realtor in the latest Only Murders episode.
that was a good one. I drank a cup of tea before I started tonight's show. Yes, it was in a Friday the 13th mug to show that I'm not that lame. But yeah, I guess I gotta drink more beer. Folks in the chat, do you want more drinking streams? The guys and I will do that if you guys request it. And Rod Thunderheart also says, yes, we still have Toys R Us here in Canada. By the way, Rod, I assume your voice is like Rex Kwon Do from Holy Diamond, Bow to your sensei. So like when we meet, please talk like this every sentence. I will never get tired of hearing the excitement from Rod Thunderheart.
I've had the pleasure of speaking to Rod many times. He doesn't have that voice, but he could do that voice. I'll tell you that. He has a pretty good voice.
I'll be at a con, and all of a sudden I'll be like sitting there here, Jeff, it's me, Rod Thunderheart, and I'll go, oh, cool, man. You do sound like I had imagined. Folks, if you ever come to meet me at a show or a con, or you run into me at some place, just talk to me like that. I'm priming the audience to use the Rod Thunderheart voice. I like it.
Excellent. We've got one from Layden Swallow and Room of Requirements still, too.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back and give everybody their props. So, thank you to everybody, folks, who supports WCBS. We appreciate you guys. You know that. We love doing the show. And we'll soon have a new one, Bracket Battle. We tested Bracket Battle again on Thursday night. 2 great results. It was Who's the Biggest A-Hole in Hollywood. We won't spoil it for you, but so you don't have to listen to a 3-hour show. I'm going to clip that and put that out as its own little video. It's not really an official Bracket Battle, but it was basically the best of the worst people in entertainment. And it was a lot of fun. We had names like P. Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby, Prince Harry. They were all there. So check that out, folks, for full context. But our friend Layden Swallow, who's been a member for 5 months, Layden Swallow, thank you very much. He says, I read the first 2 Twilights only because my girlfriend at the time would not shut up about it. Told to her face that they're crap. At least now my wife has better taste.
You spoke it into her. Good job.
You laugh, but I actually do. Like, I don't know if I could date a woman that watches like absolute crap. Like if she watched reality TV all day, or was all day, because I don't want somebody that's like that. But like if her preferred choice of entertainment was like reality TV or like really dumb movies, like, and she earnestly thought they were good, I wouldn't have a problem loving that person, but I would have a problem not laughing at her taste in movies. It's like, you know what? I'm going to pick us a film tonight, and she'll enjoy it, because, you know, we all are well-read and well-watched gentlemen. But Layden Swallow, I don't judge. I took a date in college to go see The Lovely Bones. Like, every guy, women can relate to this too, but I think most of our audience is men. If you're not, shout out in the chat, thank you. But I think every guy can relate to, like, I took a girl to blank because she wanted to go, and it was absolute garbage. Let me know in the chat, like, what you took a woman out to see. Lovely Bones is on the bottom of my list. Andrew, anything that you can relate to in this regard?
No, you know, with my ex, she wanted to watch, like, stupid, you know, Real House bitches of whatever city.
Nova Scotia County?
Sure, why not? Them
That's a good
too.
one.
Like, I'd just, like, leave the room. Like, not interested. I'm good. I will go do literally anything else.
See,
What about
this
you,
is your
Skip?
opportunity just to have seduced
Thankfully,
her.
Mary actually has good taste in movies.
No, if you're ever with your partner and there's something that is on TV that you don't want to watch and you don't want to insult them with it, just try to seduce them.
That always works.
Yeah, it does. It always works. They miss the show. You get some fun time. And then you can be like, you know, I'm really tired, but if you want to like rewatch that, go right ahead. You can just fill me in on the things later, and then just go to bed.
No, man, you take it one step further. You go back out into the living room with her to watch it, and then as it starts, you just doze off right onto her shoulder. You tried. You were Mr. Hero
Mr.
of the hour.
Did your best. Yeah.
You're only human. We're not Superman after all. So, yeah. Laden Swallow, thank you very much. I'm going to read the chat in a minute to see what people have suffered through for... It's funny, though. Like, my very first date in high school, we went and saw Sin City, and that's what she requested. So, like, at least I started out cool.
Really?
But I've said...
That's not bad.
Yeah, she's like, have you seen that movie? The commercials for that movie that's in black and white, but part of it's in color? And I was like... Oh, and then we talked about it, and I was like, yeah. And we went, and it's Sin City. It's a good movie. So,
It's
not bad.
stylized. What's funny is I was on a commute yesterday, and I found in the archive of the vehicle I was in an ABC pilot with Sam Jones and Nana Visitor and the show is called The Spirit. And yes, it is based off the old comic strip.
Ooh.
And it is very silly. It's like 60s Batman, but they didn't get what 60s Batman was doing.
Oh no.
But the thing is, it's not cringe.
That's unfortunate.
It's not cringe, but it's watchable.
It has to be better than the 2008.
It is 100% better than Frank Miller's directorial efforts, trying to copy Robert Rodriguez without understanding what Robert Rodriguez knows how to do.
It's like they got the special effects team from Sin City.
Yeah.
But and here's the thing, I respect Frank Miller to the highest degree. Like, his work to a point is legendary.
Daredevil stuff is really solid. That's
This Daredevil stuff's really solid. I actually hate The Dark Knight Returns, but that's neither here nor there.
I like The Dark Knight Returns. It's Dark Knight Strikes Back that I think is trash. And
I hate
get it
that The
it's a
Dark Knight
commentary.
Returns is what everybody bases Batman off of now, and so many people, they're like, what's your go-to recommendation for people who want to get into Batman comics? And they always put Dark Knight Returns off on top of the list. It's like, that's an Elseworlds. It's not Batman.
I like to imagine it's how Batman retires. Like, to me, year one is how it starts, and then in an alternate world, because I don't want him to die. I don't want him to go out fighting Darkseid.
No, I don't want that
next
either.
To a little kid on a swing set. Like, I want Batman.
That's why I prefer Batman Beyond.
I love that. I can't have all of those, but if I'm going to introduce somebody to Batman, depending on the age, I'd say just watch the animated series. You need the swashbuckling high adventure of the weak Batman. But
there's two series you could suggest. Animated series, Brave and the Bold, both great Batman series. Very good.
Now, Script, you and I both like the same YouTuber's named Salazar Knight. Did you watch his new Batman video?
No, I got it. I didn't have internet access. I just had like a remote mobile server of movies that I was on this really expensive, nice little plane. But I got to check it out because that guy is like an encyclopedia.
I never really ask people, but I'm going to ask him to come on so we can talk Batman with him because his video is excellent. Yeah.
You should.
Well,
that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I've been contacted by a couple people about crossovers and stuff. So, folks, Larry Bundy will be on the channel very soon, and then we'll be talking to other people here on YouTube. We're gonna bring in a rotation of guests. We were supposed to have Aaron tonight, but Aaron had some technical errors, and then I was getting a video up towards the end of the stream. So, shout out to everybody who's been here the whole time. I appreciate you. But shout out to the Room of Requirement. He says, "Have some money, Jeff." Well, Room of
Who's
Requirement.
actually Mary?
Thank you very much. Oh, it's Mary. What's up? I see the mod wrench, and I was gonna ask, but some people are precious about their identity, so I don't ask. If you change your name, I'm just like, hey, cool. Somebody I trusted enough.
She shouted it out in the chat already. So,
well, shout out to Mary. It's funny, Mary. You must be psychic, or like we must all be connected in the greater scheme of things. Because today, I was just doing something. I was like, I wonder what Mary's up to. I haven't seen her in over a year. And that's it. I just was like wondering what's up. So I'm glad you sent me the message.
I was thinking that doing laundry last week, oddly enough. And nothing about laundry reminds me of Mary. I was just like, oh, who have I not spoken with in a while? Oh, it's Mary.
I mean, she is a woman, so, doing laundry.
Yeah, but I can't trust women doing laundry. They always lose something.
What? What?
That's why you
I
always
know
gotta
they
check
stole my shirts. I know because I have very comfortable shirts. Every ex-girlfriend I've had, even my current girlfriend, she's probably got a whole treasure trove of my shirts.
I'm in trouble now.
I just, if a girlfriend of mine wore a shirt, or if a girlfriend wore a shirt of mine, it'd be like a nightgown for her. So,
You could swallow her.
Fair.
Yeah.
oh, I have some shirts that are too big for me now that I can wear and then put over like a woman. She could like be in the shirt with me. So if it's like, I don't even know what scenario is that for? I don't know. I don't care. But you get the point.
I'm sure you can make one up. You're creative.
I won't put it in a comic, or will I?
I was going to say, it depends on the comic.
Well, the comic Stealing Solo 2 does not have me or anybody wearing large T-shirts to necessitate multiple bodies, but it does have a group of disgruntled Star Wars fans who get kidnapped by Mark Hamill and are forced to remake The Last Jedi in the most insane way. And folks, the book is almost ready to have you guys sign up for it. I will have the campaign this year. The book is done. So it's funny. I'm waiting on a couple pages to get colored, but I want to be so ahead of the curve because we want to deliver this thing to you as quick as possible. But be on the lookout. I've been sharing it.
Way.
Follow me over on Instagram at VJeffHicks. Follow us on Twitter and just check out the channel. I have been posting images, teasers, stuff about the book, and you guys are sending a lot of positive reactions my way. So I'm really excited about the book. I didn't want to open the show tonight talking about it, but we got over 300 people watching right now. I would like each and every one of you guys to grab a copy of Stealing Solo 2, and if you're like, Jeff, I didn't read the first book, well, guess what? We're going to offer both at the same time. So I even have the super limited to 14. I counted them today. I have 14 editions of the sketch cover variant, which we're going to have a super rare version. Now, that's the only way that you can get the first Stealing Solo without any of the bonus features. So if you're like, I like anthology, but for some reason I want a version without it in it, well, that's the only way. And that book's never gone back to print. So, you guys know what to do. We're going to break records. The first one was a hit.
I was number one, the first backer on Ghostbusters on the Kickstarter. So let's see if I'm that quick again.
Wokebusters. Because I didn't make Ghostbusters. I would.
Yeah, you wish, right?
Sony lawyers.
Wokebusters is even more funny. So
it has nothing to do with Ghostbusters. That's just a coincidence.
Yeah,
not at all. But yeah,
That's why
we'll see if I'm quick
titles...
enough to get in on Stealing Solo Part 2.
Well, there will be day one exclusives for everybody. We're treating this. Oh. I have a couple people behind the scenes that have been helping me out, and we've been coaching through some of these things. So this is going to be a campaign to end all campaigns. Everybody wants this, so let's check it out. I'm really excited. I'm pumped about the cover. The cover was originally just going to be a cover, but now it's a wraparound cover. So I want to make all this stuff look even better. And cool. Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys more about it off air because I'll share. You're my inner circle about creativity. So
I got you.
Albatross, thank you very much. It says, I watched The Color Purple with my mom in Sanford, in SF when I was a young teenager. It was so boring, I think I purged it from my memory until now. That's the one with Oprah, right?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's a Spielberg film with Oprah.
Never watched it. It's the slavery one, right?
Yes. It's the one that Elizabeth Banks forgot Spielberg directed because she did make a mention that Spielberg has never directed a movie about women as main characters.
Mm.
That's what
She's
happens.
put her foot in her mouth a lot.
But yeah, but when people put their foot in their mouth, it's the funniest because you can give them receipts, and when you can give people receipts, that's when you can laugh and point the finger at them. Now, Albatross, what did I watch? I've watched some funny shit with I've watched comedies with my mom that have stuff in it that you wouldn't think to watch with your like Step
Annie Hall?
Brothers. I've never seen. I have a prejudice against Annie Hall because it beat Star Wars for the Best Picture Oscar, so I've made it my life's mission to never watch it, just on principle. Screw you, Woody Allen. For many reasons.
Really good dirty jokes in Annie Hall.
Yeah, but Star Wars is Star Wars.
Star Wars is Star Wars.
But thank you, Albatross. I'm trying to think. Do I have any? Step Brothers was weird with my mom about the nuts on the drum set. And then she quoted it to me a week later. I'm like, oh, God. What are we...
Oh, I can't imagine my mom doing that. She is way too straight-laced. She couldn't do it. There's no way.
A lot like me. So if you can imagine me doing it, she's
fun.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's a riot.
And to be clear, I love my mother, but she and I are only alike in very few areas.
I come from a family of people with big personalities, and we always like yuck it up at holidays. So when we see each
That's
other at
awesome.
Christmas,
That's good stuff.
And now the younger kids are all old enough to drink, so it's kind of like
Oh,
we're
shoot.
playing a game. Who's drunk?
No holds
who's not at
barred, huh?
Christmas?
Right?
Yeah.
Who's
It's
going to
great.
get drank under the table first, right?
I don't compete like that anymore. I would have beat my family in those drinking contests a decade ago, but nowadays Jeff is I don't know. I just don't care. I've reached my limit. I'll let
That's
Dion
fair.
drink that much for
That's
me.
respectable.
Let's see. TLJ Screwjob, thank you very much. He says, script, is it easy to do the Sixth Sense-esque twists?
No. It's the reason the Sixth Sense-esque twists are so recognizable is because
Don't bite
they're
your tongue
very
off.
yeah. Number one, it's a tongue twister. Number two, they're really hard to land. The Sixth Sense, The Usual Suspects, trying to think of to a degree, Fight Club. All of those are really kind of tricky. You can't. The way that I've heard, especially for like Fight Club, is that twist came by accident. Like it wasn't planned initially. That's the rumor I heard. Maybe it was, but the whole idea is that yes, he was writing a script about these two guys, and then he said, "No, what if it's just one guy?" and then went.
And
back
the rest of it's all psychological.
Yeah, then went back and made the adjustments so that it all ends up becoming one guy. Really, I mean, those types of twists, a great film twist is never really thought out. It's kind of a random act of brilliance where your mind is not looking for the twists like consciously, your subconscious is. And then all of a sudden you're building the pieces around it, and then all of a sudden the revelation hits and you're like, that's it. That's the gimmick. That's what's the hook of this film. Your twist is your bookend to, you have your hook, which is your inciting incident, why people are going to stick around. And you have your twist at the end, which basically says, oh, I have to watch this movie one more time.
Well, the twist is what your audience walks away with, and that's what sticks with them, right? Because that's the thing that has them like scratching the back of their head and wanting to watch it again and be like, what was really going on there?
Not so much scratching the back of their head going, what was going on, but which is like, I understand what's happened. There's way more now. I have way more context of what's going on now. I have to watch it again to pick up all those extra parts. Kind of like the Advantage Point or Rashomon. Those are two examples of films where they don't have a twist, but you have different perspectives on a single event, and then all of those perspectives open up what the event is.
You mentioned Fight Club. You rewatch Fight Club after understanding the twist, and it changes every single scene.
Yes, exactly. You get two movies for the price of one.
Yeah.
Same thing with The Sixth Sense. Same thing with The Usual Suspects. That's the aspect of it. Like, what's the additional layer you can throw in there? For the few writers I know that have written successful twists on their screenplays, which have not yet been produced, they've all said it's the same thing. I was writing a general story, and all of a sudden this thing happened, and it just clicked. And I finished writing off what it was, and then I went back for a first and second act and made the tweaks so that the twist makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it
so
works.
It seems organic, but not that you were hand-holding the audience to it.
Exactly.
Because that's the thing. If you're hand-holding your audience to the twist, it's not really much of a twist. You kind of gave it away.
Exactly. The other part is
you had your brights on.
Sometimes people come up with a great gimmick that is a twist, and then they write it. But what I found is that they end up usually that twist, the idea ends up becoming like a mid-act turning point, and then they tend to come up with a better twist for the climax, and that's even better. But it's not a guarantee. I mean, you can't force creativity. You can do something which is really hard for a lot of people to do, which is take a risk, be brave. Outlining is my favorite method of early production and writing, because this is where you get the discovery of those twists or those aspects or those turning points of your story. And then now that you've got it out there, you've got your map, and you don't have to stick to it 100%, but you basically know, like, oh, if you're writing and you realize, oh man, I'm writing the screenplay. Oh boy, it's 150 pages. I have clearly gone off track because it shouldn't be that long. I shouldn't be trying to go any more than 120 pages. All right, let me look at my outline and see where did I veer off. And then you reconcile that and you figure out, okay, what can I cut? What do I keep? Can I tighten this up? Can I make this work better?
Or can I condense?
Is there way too much setup, or is there not, and there's too little payoff? I mean, those are the questions you have to do, and you can do that a lot easier when you have an outline, because again, it's just guiding markers. You don't have to be beholden to it. I don't know a single writer that is 100% beholden to their outline. I mean, in most cases, the only thing that's the same, similar from their outline to their final draft is the beginning, where the script started and where they had to end it. And then everything in the middle was completely different. But you're writing with a direction in mind. And that goes a long way.
That's something I want to tackle eventually. But I always feel so, I don't know, self-aware if I try to do something like a Twilight Zone-esque twist. But I mean, I technically did it once with my anthology story that I put in the back of Stealing Solo. But I have a list of stories that do have a twist ending, but they're more like let me rephrase it. They have a twist in them, and then the story kind of like turns itself on its ear and like will take you to a place you've never expected. So maybe down the road I'll experiment with that. I wish M. Night Shyamalan, because he built his whole career on the gimmick of the twist.
Yeah.
Nowadays his movies
Sometimes it worked. Many times it didn't.
I think his movies today are still pretty, they fell off, but then they got better. And I liked the twist of The Visit, but the twist of Trap or the other
Village.
one, The Village.
I liked The Village.
What was the one with
I also
Batista?
liked, what was it? Was it Devil? There was the elevator one.
Yeah, that one was good enough.
I enjoyed that one. It wasn't amazing, but I was like, it was pretty good. I'm glad I didn't feel bad about spending whatever it was, an hour and 45 minutes watching it.
Well,
I still
that's
like Unbreakable.
that's a real life example of typecasting, because the second script that M. Night pitched to make after The Sixth Sense had no twist, nothing to do with it. And they're like, no, if you're the twist guy, you have to come up with a twist. And no, that's really why a lot of his films had that twist into it, and they also did not have the impact anywhere near what he was able to do with The Sixth Sense, and to a lesser extent,
He did Signs, right?
He did Signs. He did Unbreakable. He did Lady in the Water.
Yeah, Signs is fine.
The thing is
weird.
The thing is, a lot
Happening
of
was
have a lot of
terrible.
cool things
a movie,
about them, but they just don't have the payoff that you're looking for, because, again, Hollywood is, especially producers, are so dumb. They think if you do one thing one way, that's all you know how to do, because for them, that's all they know how to do. They don't like someone that knows how to do all their genres, because they're like, well, number one, they're intimidated because they're all mono thinkers. And number two,
it's like when a music artist or a band tries to dip into another genre, even if it's only a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh, why are you doing that? You're supposed to be this thing over here. Well, what if they've got the talent to do more than one thing?
Yeah, like Elvis. Why do you think he was the king? Because he could do more than one genre.
Yeah.
He did ballads. He did rock and roll.
Did blues.
Exactly. It's like, do you not get it? But no,
it's
they
like
don't.
As a writer, you shouldn't be just like pigeonholed into just one thing. I don't like that notion that just because he did put out a movie that was successful, people enjoyed it, it was critically acclaimed, and it had a big twist, that all of a sudden he's the twist guy, and now everything. See, that recontextualizes his career for me, at least a little bit. Like, a bad movie is a bad movie, right? Like, regardless of anything else, that's still the case. But if you're being pressured to like always having to have this twist or something, like, not everything has to have that. Not everything has to have a twist. You shouldn't be, I don't know, maybe this is just me, and Script, maybe you can make commentary on this. You shouldn't go into something saying, I'm going to write this story and the whole thing is I'm going to have this big mind-blowing twist. I like the idea of something being maybe a little bit more organic, like what you mentioned earlier, where you get to a certain point in the story and you're like, oh, wait, you have an epiphany. Something dawns on you that, oh, this connects back here and this is going to get flipped on its head. I might have to tweak a couple little things here in Act 1 and 2, but it's going to require pretty minimal work to make this really organic to when people get here in Act 3, their minds are going to be like, what in blazes? Right?
Yeah.
Why force somebody to have to put a twist into everything? Not every story is suited for that.
Yeah, but it's all,
that's not a bad thing.
Answer is money, because it's like gimmicks make money, and a successful gimmick is copied. Look at the 3D gimmick that comes out every couple generations. It's like,
or the mind-blowing ending to Inception, which wasn't mind-blowing at all.
No.
No, Inception was really good and really relevant, but nobody talks about that anymore.
It was a
I
fun
guess-
movie, but it wasn't
also
like
been
this
15 years.
mind-blowing thing that some people were making it out to be.
Well, I mean, sadly, we live in a generation where Christopher Nolan is not the type of director where people still talk about his movies the same level that of a Kubrick or a Hitchcock or a De Palma or Spielberg.
Do you think that's his own fault though? Because he hasn't been as consistent as those other creators.
Well, one thing about that I find that separates Nolan from the others is that Nolan does not feel authentic when he tells a story. Nolan, and I've said this many times, Nolan is what J.J. Abrams wishes he could be, and that's not that great. I mean, Nolan likes to take things on the more literal side of things. He doesn't do his research. I'm terrified of the Odyssey being.
Same.
I'm really worried for that film. He did Dunkirk though, didn't he? I really liked Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, he did pretty well, but
the sound design was awful.
That's like the only minimalist movie I think he's ever made.
Okay, well, maybe that's
Oppenheimer was okay, but it's based off of a book with a lot of contested information in it. But the thing is, like, I still every once in a while I'll find myself on location that's near like a film school department, and there'll be a whole bunch of cinephile students there. Christopher Nolan's never brought up among them.
It makes me happy because I always felt, and please in the chat, don't take offense to this because this is never directed at anybody that's out there. But I always found like when people would say, "Oh, my favorite filmmaker is Christopher Nolan," I usually go to, "Oh, you haven't watched a lot of movies."
Yes,
because
that's the correct
his
answer.
movies are good, but it's like just beyond Batman stuff, anything he's done. While I've enjoyed 90% of the movies he's made and I consider them good, it's just like only consuming Coke products, or it's like only eating a cheeseburger. Like, yeah, okay, cool. You like it. That's fine. It's every once in a while I enjoy it myself. But I think if you're watching movies, maybe I elevate movie or film to an unrealistic level in my own mind. But
do you like elevated horror, Jeff?
Sometimes I have to be elevated to watch half these horror movies because they suck. Oh my god! I introduced my mom to Friday the 13th Part 5, and she's like, "I heard these movies are so gross and scary." I turned on the scene where the guy's singing on the toilet to his girlfriend. She's like, "These movies are different." So like,
different.
Yeah, that was her nice way of saying this is terrible. But I digress. But no, man, I do think your film diet should be like the food pyramid. That it should be well rounded. Of course, you got to watch Christopher Nolan. You got to see what the hubbub's about. You got to see that he does have quality and there's great cinematography and this, that, and the other. Like, there's tons of merit to the work. I have nothing like really disparaging to say. But if like that's all you're watching, like, tell me, go watch a Richard Donner movie or something with Martin Campbell, or go watch even Kevin Smith. I know he's the enemy to some people out there because he ruined He-Man. Yeah, he did. Yes, He-Man sucked, but like, he's a good example of somebody to watch. Or Robert Rodriguez, if you're trying to get into telling stories, doing something on screen, those guys had nothing, and they took what they actually had in the real world. Budget, yeah, but they had no budget. What is it? Rodriguez had like $8,000, a turtle and a guitar, and he made El Mariachi.
Yeah,
and Kevin Smith worked in the Quick Stop, and he maxed out his credit cards and sold his comic books. Like, you should understand, like, if you want to make a movie or at least tell a story, like, don't look to the Christopher Nolans, look to those other people and like learn the craft and how to do it in a different level, in a different way. Same with comic books.
And also find people that will stick with it to the end, because making a movie, shooting over like 4 or 5 weeks, a lot of fun. Editing a movie, that's at least a year of your life.
Yeah.
You have to understand, like, when you're bringing people on board, it's like you have got to realize that your editor, your music composer, any effects people that you get, they have to be willing to dedicate at least a year to get this thing finished. And a lot of people can't do that. Every story I hear about an independent filmmaker that was struggling has all had the same thing. Everybody was excited when the script was finished. They were excited when they were doing casting. They were excited when they were doing pre-production. They were excited when they were doing production. Post-production is where everybody fell off, where they changed multiple editors throughout a year. They had to get different music composers. Some some things like movies have never even been made. I've seen and worked on productions that were amazing stuff. They'll never see the light of day because there's no one willing to, there's no money. You can't pay an editor a year's salary to work on a film if you're independent. You kind of have to do it yourself. And most people in the independent scene, they only know how to do one or two things because they're starting out. It's their fandom, their fan of the genre, their fan and desire to make a story that's getting them there. And the biggest mistakes you can do is try to make a feature film as your first film because people think mistakenly that that's a way to impress people. It is not. Make a short film, make 10 minutes. That's really, really good. That impresses people more than anything else. Follow that up with a 20-minute film, then a 30-minute film. And then by that point, if you're able to impress people at 30 minutes, someone will give you money so you can pay people to finish a feature film.
So it's kind of the same thing in comic books. This is something that I learned very recently. It's important to learn not just the craft as a whole, but when you're working on something that's more short form, like a short story for a comic book, 10 to 16 pages maximum, or a short film, 10, maybe 15 minutes, you learn pacing, right? You're forced to learn pacing, rather. And as in the case of comic books, you learn how to optimize your page and panel real estate, things like that. Like, those are important things that can only help you and benefit you when you eventually build up to that more long form thing, right? So now you're just taking and replicating the optimal pacing for something that's more short form, and you're replicating that now and expanding on it in a long form thing. So even though you have, maybe for a movie you have 2.5 hours even, which is a really long movie. Let's just say 2 hours, right?
Sure.
Or for a comic book, let's say 120 pages or something like that.
Say 100 pages, because I was going to say, as somebody who did a 100-page story,
that's a lot.
Don't do that in look, and I don't want to ever discourage people. Like, if you're out there and you're creative, go for it. But start small. You may have heard of me through Stealing Solo, which is 52 pages, or Wokebusters, which is 100. But I've done stories that were 8 pages for other people. I was once challenged by Dion from the podcast. I came up with this ridiculous story concept. He's like, I bet you won't do it. I stayed up the whole night to draw it. I did it as a joke. I'm just going to stay up all night and draw these 5 or 6 pages or whatever. But you definitely want to build it up. And if you can draw and write like I can, you're really far ahead. But I would also recommend learn the technical aspect, because there's nothing worse than not knowing how to set up for print, or if somebody messes up your shit, not knowing how to fix it. This isn't look at me. It's be like me in this way, is know how to fix any mistake that could come your way, because
you're speaking from a place of you had to deal with that. You had to get around those issues. This isn't I got to avoid all these issues. No, you had to put up with them, and so you had to figure out how to deal with them.
If you can imagine a hiccup on a comic book, I've had to deal with it. From companies messing up, to people not doing your shit on a schedule, to people refunding you because they said they could do the work, but they couldn't do the work, or they wouldn't do the work. I even had professional companies that took umbrage with Wokebusters, quote unquote, make mistakes to my print file because they didn't like the content of the work. So you're going to run into every hiccup in the world, but to make it more manageable, start small with everything you're going to do, because Scripps made movies, Andrew's written comics, I've made my own books, and we want you guys to go do your own shit. We love that you're here to hang out with us and talk, but if, let's pick somebody from the chat random, let's say, Sander Hammerslag's you know what, my dream is to make a movie. Go do it, man. Keep us in your rotation for entertainment, but go out and do this stuff. We want you guys to go out and create, because we all have different passions and goals, but we all complain and critique entertainment. But instead of just bitching on the internet, we're here to talk about it and then make our own stuff to make the entertainment world better. And it's very rewarding, and it's a lot of fun. So if you learn anything from the show, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, give us a thumbs up anyway. But hopefully you're enjoying our
That's the correct answer.
Yeah, I know how YouTube works. I've been doing it for a minute or two. But Script, I'm really glad that we get to have an honest conversation about Christopher Nolan, because people hold him up as God, and sometimes I don't want to be a contrarian, but there's more to film than his 8 to 12 movies he's made, and whatever else he touches, good luck. I want to check it out and hopefully it's good. But what is it? The Odyssey he's doing?
He's doing the Odyssey, which is an epic. And I mean, it's been made a few times. There's one from Armin Assad, which was not bad. There's one with Kirk Allen that's called Ulysses, because that's the Roman version of it, if I'm not mistaken.
You mean
That
like
sounds
Kirk
right,
Allen,
yeah.
the Superman actor from back in the day?
No, sorry. Oh God, it's Kirk Douglas. Sorry, Kirk Douglas, not
okay.
Kirk Allen.
Oh, okay.
I was actually just looking over at an old Superman poster and I saw him there. Yeah, but Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas's dad. It's a long story. You can truncate it to be about 2 hours. It's really more like a mini series. In fact, the one with Arman Assad was like, I think 2 90-minute episodes of it, and it still only covered maybe a little under half of that story. It's long.
What year did that
If
come
you
out?
wanted-
Was that the one out in the 90s?
That's one of the 90s, like shortly
I
after the
watched that
Judge
as a
Dredd
kid.
movie.
I watched
If
it
you
on
wanted
TV
to-
when it was live.
If you wanted to turn that into a series that didn't feel like it was moving at the pace of like molasses in January in Canada, you'd have to take some creative liberties with it. But that's the only real way to like get the bulk of the content from Homer's Odyssey in there, because otherwise, like, a 3-hour movie isn't going to do it. And I'm sorry.
You start with him
That's a
being told
lot.
he has to go battle Troy right after his son's been born, and then he leaves, and then everybody else returns, but his boat goes off course because he's upset the gods, and from island to island, his people get taken off one by one until it's just him. And then eventually he manages to come his way back. He poses as an old man, and then kills everyone that's been trying to court his wife, who she has been fending off for like 20 odd years.
I gotta say, Homer was based for that.
Yeah.
That's pretty savage.
I mean, the only thing that's tragic here is that his son, Odysseus' son, grew up without a dad.
Yeah, which is, I mean, growing up 20 years without your dad, that is tragic.
And only knowing the stories of the battles he was in and not the type of man he was. And what's the irony is that in most cases, when based on the interpretation of the poem, is that Odysseus may have been a fierce warrior, but he was a romantic.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I like, especially when you deal with like Horatio Hornblower, who's kind of has draws some inspiration from him, is that when Horatio Hornblower finds out that he has a son, all he cares about is being able to raise that kid, especially when his wife has died shortly after childbirth. He's like, all I care about is my kid. And it's like, oh, wow, that's a very interesting narrative to have, because we always had this other counter narrative, especially between like the 1940s to up to the 1970s, where dads are not supposed to really care or show affection towards their son. They're supposed to be the authority figure and disciplinarian. And here are some stories that predate that show the exact opposite, that there is nurturing, that there is care. In addition to masculinity and, discipline, it's all about the fact that you understand that those traits are not done out of love to shape that child into being a better person, and not as like a wall to be resistance, where, you don't have your kids say, yeah, I grew up, my dad never told me he loved me, never even did as much as shake my hand. That type of that, like, that's a horrible attitude.
Yeah, no, that's not right.
The fact that has been kind of taken as the norm, even though I've met enough people throughout the world where it's like, yeah, no, I had my father was not like that during that period. He hugged me all the time, play sports with me, asked me how I was doing. Yeah, if I got out of line, he'd take off his belt and like give me a good whipping, but outside
my dad's part of the reason why I have any measure of creativity to me. When I was 7, 8, 9, we would at night sit on my carpeted floor in my bedroom, and draw different panels out of my Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comic books onto scratch paper.
I knew you had an artist in you, man. I told you, next book you should draw it.
Yeah,
you send me the sketches.
No, I deny it. I deny all of it.
Just get an inker, because here's my step to you, Andrew, as somebody who inks their own stuff. They can help you get stuff done quicker, and they can help you see where, like, for example, if you don't draw ears well or something, sometimes somebody inks it and you go, oh, that's how I can fix what I do. So there you go, folks. There's little art tips every day coming your way from the channel.
You should consider doing like little quick thing, even if it's only on Instagram, because Instagram is far more art like centric. Maybe do like little reels of stuff art related.
I will be doing that, and that's going to become a part of like my online brand moving forward. But
okay, good.
I'm working on producing that for this book. Like I treat my books like they're movies. So you know how all the best movies had discs with special features? We have special features for this coming book, and I'm going to basically make mini like behind the scenes shit where I like talk you through the process, tell you about stuff, and even show
hell yeah,
stuff. I have my art box that I found. It's literally a Rubbermaid full of old shit, and I'm even going to show you guys some of the stuff you can see, you know, old art. So let's have fun with it, folks.
I want it.
You'll get it. Don't worry. Like I told you, I got a new way to make content. Shit's been going good. I'm happy. So, you know, I just needed a break from this for a couple weeks to finish my book. I'm like a new man. So now, folks, let's check in with our friend Rod Thunderheart again, because Rod is a creator as well and has some advice for TLJ Screwjob. It says, TLJ Screwjob, if you want to try writing with really awesome twists, probably the best way in my writing experience is to think of a twist and write the story backwards. It's easier to construct the story there. And he also says, here's another thing. In my book, I wrote chapter 2 from basically third-person perspective, but then the following chapter is the same chapter, but from the invisible Carolina's perspective, which was fun.
I can sort of, not so much with the twist, but I can piggyback on that a little bit, where my initial pitch for the story that I created for the Rippaverse, Blue Shift, who's a speedster, I wrote, and this was the first like comic script that I wrote. I took a couple of weekends. I taught myself how to write a comic script in terms of like the formatting, everything. I had never done it before. I had like dabbled in some traditional prose, never touched comic scripting. Taught myself. I wrote, was it like 120 something odd page script. I showed my my direct supervisor, Caro, and she was like, this is really cool. This is really good. What happens before it? And I was like, oh shit. Okay. So I had a target now. I was like, okay, I definitely want to get to this point, and I know other stuff that I want to do down the line. Where do I start, and how does it actually connect with that in an organic manner? Sometimes working backwards can actually be helpful because you have that benefit of foresight, kind of. And that was fun to play around with and write some other additional scripts to be like, okay, so now I have, it actually wound up giving me even more ideas for my stories. If they ever get greenlit, we'll see. It depends on how well my short stories received in Ripazine 5. But
so what you're telling us is all the stories are going to be adapted, because that thing's going to be fire, dude.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. I'm very blessed because I've had a lot of people in our fandom message me on Twitter and email me, including people who are like more prominent on other platforms that I spend zero time on, like Facebook and Instagram and even TikTok, saying like, I was sharing out the trailer and art and stuff from this thing, and people are like, what the hell is this? I want to check that out. I don't know who the hell these people are, but I like that. And I'm like, I hope you like it still after you read it.
I can't wait to actually meet you in person and talk comics and hang out. I'd say
I would love to have like just kind of like an in-person round table with all of us just like shooting the shit over some brews and comics and talking movies and all of that. That's the dream. We need to make that happen at some point.
Well, I've already talked to, because I'm friends with a couple creators, I talked about New York City Comic Con in 2027. So I'm going to do, I mean, that's 2 years from now, because Comic Con
that's 2 years.
Weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm giving myself 2 years to get ready and have a full library, but we'll find a con, because my only rule of thumb, man, is I want to hang out. By the way, folks, we had over 400 people. We got new people watching each and every week. Folks, if this is your first live stream, thank you. Welcome to the channel. If you found us through our new Xbox video, tell us what you thought of that. But folks, if you haven't checked that one out, you might like it. It's not really about Xbox. It's about how you, the consumer, is getting less and paying more. And, well, I don't like that because I'm a consumer just like you guys. And I don't want to see my Xbox subscription go up and my action figures triple in price and this and that. It's not a good time to be a collector or a consumer in many ways. But that's why we're here for you, to entertain you and give you some world-class stuff. But we'll have one of those roundtable hangouts, and what we'll do is we'll take pictures, and we'll use a picture of, like, I have a cardboard cutout of Chewbacca. We'll use that as script. We'll just put some glasses on it.
That's great.
Oh man, I wish I was Chewbacca height. Actually, no, I don't. I'd never be able to walk through a door.
No,
Yeah.
I'm still shorter than Chewbacca, and I don't want to be any taller. So,
And I'm happy with being an inch shy of 6 foot. There's so many more cars I can fit in comfortably. I don't
are
have
you just
to worry
running
as
this
much.
into me? You're like, oh, I'm not 6 feet. I can fit in cars. Airplanes aren't a hassle for me, man.
Well,
I've
it's
never
weird
had-
because we're in this like culture where you have like stupid bimbos online that you see interviewed all the time on YouTube and whatnot, where they're like, "Oh, a guy needs to be like 6'3" or what the hell I do." Have fun. Go
I gotta
chase
say,
your
is it-
6'3".
Hey, as a guy that's over 6'3", that shit actually does have an effect. Like, seriously, they're just like, oh, you're really tall, and then it just goes from there. So
I bet it does. I bet it does. I'd rather be comfortable.
See, I'm at the age where if I get sciatica, I'm going to lose 2 inches off my height.
that shit. If I lose 2 inches off my height, I'll still be 6'3". So
There goes. Okay, so I need to make a freaking bingo card for this Tuesday night stream. It's like, when did script, like, one of the things will be script, like, mentioning something regarding a comic book character that it harkens back specifically to the Golden Age, or when is it, like, script saying something that makes him sound like he's 75 years old, but he's actually within, like, a 3-year variance of being Jeff. Like,
what we should do is we should take this bingo card and make it a trend for a couple weeks, and then around the holiday we should have a whatever we're calling our show, bingo card T-shirt. And folks
that'd be
that come
hilarious.
Like, like, all
Remember,
right,
it's Bronze Age, not the Golden Age. I'm a Bronze Age guy. But yes,
As am I, but you talk like a Golden Age guy so often.
well, I mean, what's funny is that only on YouTube, I think, do I hang out with people that are relatively close to my age. Most of the people I deal with are at least 20 years older than me. Like,
My
just in
goodness.
Like me
general.
growing up.
Just on the crew
Yeah.
and like film crew and film production.
Yeah.
Because like when I was getting started out, they were kind of like, they were the peak people that you kind of made friends and worked with and still there. And then the people that are younger than me, they don't last at all in this industry. They're in and out so quickly. You don't have time to make friends and colleagues with them. So yeah, I've got a lot of old people influencing on me. So that's why I sound older than, like, my thought process, the way I speak, or the word choices I use make me sound a lot older than I actually am.
It is quite funny.
It is.
I will forever give you grief for it because I find it funny and endearing.
It's great because if I make it to the age of 80, I'll sound like a 100-year-old. Yet I still got 20 more years before I hit
120 even.
Yeah. I'll be the
Old man
oldest sounding
script.
young man in the world.
That's our next comic, Andrew. Old man script doctor. People be like, I
And
don't know what
it's
this
like
title
Old Man
means.
Logan.
Yeah. I call shit. Who? No, I don't want to be anybody from that storyline. I was gonna say I'll be the Hulk, but the Hulk got weird, so no thanks. I'll just
The Hulk got really weird in that story,
I've
but
got like giant glasses as a result of being like so old. Like the prescription's the
literal
same.
Coke
I just
bottles.
have more peripheral vision.
Why don't you just get a Cyclops visor, but it's all prescription?
I was about to
That
say it's
way-
basically a wraparound visor at that point.
I could 3D print one and then just put in some old lenses.
Oh, there you go.
I want to 3D print I've been watching these videos where people 3D print like cosplay helmets and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get some of those. My buddy's got a printer. I'm like, yeah, make
3D
me,
printing's come along like a really long ways.
And it's
Like
become
there's
way more
really
affordable.
crazy stuff that
Yeah.
people can do with it.
He made me a Batman recently, so I have this little
That's
Batman
cool.
action figure that's 3D
Hey,
printed.
he
It's
can
pretty
make you
cool.
also an Axel Foley.
Hey,
He can.
There it is.
I'm going to a Halloween party. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be Axel Foley again this holiday season. So
You're really
Folks-
tall, Axel Foley. Eddie Murphy ain't that tall.
no, if I was in the right shape, I could be The Rock because I'm that size.
Oh yeah,
Shit, I think I'm broader than him now, not buffer, but broader than him.
Actually, you know what?
nowadays.
Throwing everyone off, go as Rosewood.
I have a suit. I'll just put on a suit. I'm Billy Rosewood. Who's Billy Rosewood? If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yep, there it is.
Rod also says, "Hail, Jeff. Said this to wrestling once. We can understand you. Move the microphone away from your face. We can't understand you." Oh, is my microphone far away?
No,
You're fine.
Oh,
You're
okay.
fine.
Sorry, Rod. I was a little confused with what you meant. I'm thinking of a 6'5" Billy Rosewood. He's not that tall. I've met Judge Reinhold. Nice guy.
Oh,
But,
6'5" is tall to me, but I'm only 5'11", so I guess there's that.
I was your height in 5th grade.
When you were 10 years old.
In 5th grade, shit, I was like probably like 5'4". I was short. I was short up until like my junior years when I hit my last growth spurt, and then I
Still
sprouted
short to
up.
me, buddy. It's okay.
Still short to
forever
you.
young.
You're also you're a freaking giant, okay?
I'm gonna start hanging out with pro wrestlers where I'm the. Actually, I am friends with a bunch of pro wrestlers, and the funny thing is, they all are so small. Like, my one friend's in the NWA, so he's like a normal sized guy. He's like 6'2" or whatever.
A normal sized guy, 6'2". Listen to me. Screw you, buddy.
Okay, look, you're completely average height at 5'11". I don't want to disparage anybody that's vertically challenged, so we're gonna switch topics so I don't hurt anyone's feelings. I wish I was on camera right now so you could see my expression.
You can see mine.
The audience can't. There we go. Now they can see it. The face
This
of
guy.
displeasure.
This is why I drink. Jeff is why I drink.
Hey, like my grandma would always say, if you can't joke, you better give it up. So that's how we know we're friends.
I respect it.
That,
Your grandmother
honestly,
was a smart woman.
She was. That was honestly her catchphrase, and I would always agree with that. So shout out to her. She'd be, 101 years old now.
Oh, wow. Ooh. God bless her.
Yep. Yeah, she lived to be 95, though, so that was a hell of a life.
That is a good life, yeah.
That's no short life at all. Dang.
We all aspire to be 95 years old. Script, you're pretty much there, so.
Or at least he would have us believe.
What was it like before electricity? Like, what did you do at night? Did you just go to bed when it got dark?
I love that we're leaning into this.
I can tell you vividly what it was like before the internet.
Well, yeah, me too.
I know what that was like. Listen, asshole. I was born in the 80s. I do remember what it was like before the internet was a widespread thing outside of like the government and like major corporations. Thank you very much.
Look, when I was a kid, I used to ride my bike to the library to use the internet because we
Yeah.
didn't really have. We had dial-up at.
I remember
point, but
when
they had
the
broadband
most widespread access to the internet was the freaking AOL Online disc demos.
40 hours a month for free.
Right? Look at that. Yeah. Like, come on.
Remember when you logged into the internet, it screamed at you, and now when you log into the internet, you
scream at other people.
Welcome, you've got mail. I miss those days. Not really. I don't know. It was fun. It was exciting. I miss something new and exciting. That's what I miss. I don't miss the internet's better. It's faster. It's less weird.
There's, you know what? Some of the apps these days I don't like. It's like I've got this remote phone app, and I can only make calls if someone has called me through it. Like, it doesn't give me an actual dial pad on the app, and it's like,
do you have an actual phone plan?
No, I do. Like, my phone actually has like 6 numbers that I can make calls through on it because of the various different productions I have. So it keeps my personal number very private. But some of the apps I have is like, yeah, you can only call this person back. You can't just go into the number pad and then dial in a number and then just make an outgoing call. It's like, that is the dumbest thing ever. Like, who made this stupid
It's
app?
like a pain in the ass thing to circumvent.
Oh, if I want to dial out, I have to go onto like a laptop or a computer and then go to the dashboard on their website and then do a dial out and then leave a message. And then
why do we have this? What's
exactly?
the point?
Like, it's the dumbest thing ever.
What are we doing here? This is 2025. First world problems.
It's just yeah, but like, this is how app developers work. They're like, we'll make something for the web, and then we'll make the mobile. Oh, we completely forgot the fact that maybe someone might want to do an outgoing call on the mobile.
Look, I'm going to sound even older than you for 5 seconds. I think Snapchat's stupid because what's the purpose of taking a picture that disappears? Like, I don't get the gimmick. I mean, I get it. I have it. I use it. But I think it's the dumbest app. That's the one I see Instagram's value. I see other ones' value. But it's like, hey, here's a picture, and it's gone.
I think I used Snapchat for a total of a week and a half about 7 or 8 years ago, because one of my friends was using it and convinced me to use it, and then I wound up telling them this app is kind of stupid. I don't see much of a point. Why am I doing this? I'm just gonna text you.
It's so refreshing to complain about something that's not TikTok.
Oh my lord, I can't with TikTok.
Yeah. You know what, though? What we can do? We can give a shout out to Shrubbles08, who has a request for the new Buffalo Jeff button. So,
let's do it.
Remember, folks, it is October, so Buffalo Jeff can appear anytime you want. So just ask your old pal Buffalo Jeff. Mary, quite contrary.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
me, your old pal Buffalo Jeff.
You know, knowing Mary's abysmal luck, she probably popped in at the exact moment or just before you started doing the voice.
Well, Mary, I'm going to create you a piece of Buffalo Jeff artwork.
Oh, Lord. I'll give you her new address.
Oh, perfect. Oh, she doesn't know where I live. I'm going to drive over a state and just mail her something from a different state. She'll be like, where did this come from? How? Why?
This is great conspiring right here. This is what the internet was actually made for.
It's like people that watch this show, they're like, all right, we're going to talk about pop culture and have a great discussion, learn some stuff, and now we're going to learn how to harass
Oh, we're actually
cool.
just going to harass and emotionally terrorize our friends. That's what we do.
That's how you show love. Believe me. You know, guys talk shit to each other. You show up and scare people. You know, it's just good-natured josh.
Mail things to your female friends from out of state. You know.
Yeah,
Don't know
exactly.
where you are.
That's all it
One
is.
of these days off air, I'll tell you how I pranked one of my coworkers and made him think he was being watched by the television show Cheaters.
That's a good one.
That's definitely a story I need to hear at some point.
I got him to, never mind. I'll tell you off air. I'm not going to incriminate myself publicly.
Yeah, don't incriminate yourself. Don't do that.
No, I got a lot going for me. I don't want to just disappear for. Actually, what I did wasn't illegal, and the statute of limitations. It's 20 years ago. What are they going to do? Anyway, Rod Thunderheart says, "Closer to your face, Jeff." Is that okay, Rod? So this is the microphone.
Oh, wow.
A finger's width away from my lips, but I like to talk a lot loudly, so that's why I keep the mic here. But one thing too, folks, if you ever listen to the recorded version of our podcast or any of the clips, we sound better using the same software in the recorded version. I don't know why StreamYards falls apart, but you know, I have an XLR.
It's because StreamYards and YouTube have dog water compression to their audio and video.
Well, I have some good news to everybody that's out there that's watching. We're going to stay on YouTube, obviously, but we have integrated OBS a little bit, and so that'll be rolled out fairly soon. So the show's going to be even crazier, especially when we get the bracket battle.
Oh.
Rod Thunderheart also says, "Hail, in that scene in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I could never get past him talking. He's supposed to be a middle-aged Indy, and he sounds like old man Indy." Hey, Rod, you are not alone, dude. When Sean Connery played James Bond for the last time in that video game, From Russia with Love, I was so bothered by the fact that it was the old parody Sean Connery who, you know, sounds like Henry Jones Sr., not the young Sean Connery, who doesn't have that voice. Harrison Ford's son doubled his voice in Blade Runner for all the special edition scenes that they added in. I think they should have got a sound-alike actor or modulated the voice or used AI to pull Harrison Ford's dialogue from every one of his movies that they have the rights to and made a voice, because it looked enough like him that I was like, okay, this is fine, but it didn't sound like him, and it killed the immersion. And once the immersion's broken once, you can't help but see the seams the entire way. So I agree with you, Rod. It bothered me. The movie existing bothers me, but that's a topic for another time. Shout out to Enrique Vasquez says, I'm tall for a Mexican, but next to Jeff, I'm a dwarf. Yes, Enrique is a listener who became a friend. Now he's just a real-life buddy. And he was here at WCBS headquarters over the summer, and he can attest the legend of Jeff, the Giant. My father, Andre the Giant, raised me well, as in not at all. Our friend
Never mind. I'm gonna save that joke.
Thank you. Save it for the... save it for whenever you want. Surprise me with it. Call me on the phone at 3 a.m. and say it. I don't care. Our friend Jorge says, Mary had a little lamb. A little lamb. Little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was all gone. Was that what you wanted, Jorge? Was that...
That's not what I wanted. I didn't ask for any of that.
I think I'm going to record you a book on tape. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to read you a book as Buffalo Jeff, send it to you on a CD in multiple parts, just to torture you. Anyway, I'm going to need your address, buddy.
See, you literally just put the power in my hands.
No, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to message Mary. I'm going to say, send me Andrew's address, and I promise I won't bother you as Buffalo Jeff ever again.
She will absolutely take that bargain. What the hell?
Good. And then I'll
She
alter
will
the deal.
sell me right up the river.
Well, I'm always down for a nice riverboat trip. We can go gambling, eat some nice food, commit some crimes in international waters, and never get arrested. That's how it works, right?
If you're lucky.
Luck tends to be on my side. I'm going to take that risk. No, I'm not. Oh.
I hate everything.
You don't. You love Tuesdays.
I do love Tuesdays. Or at least I love Tuesday nights.
Hey, it's been better now that we're back. And folks in the chat clearly love the Tuesday night primetime live show. And we have some more topics because originally I said, we'll shut it off. But no, we have more people watching and we're kicking ass right now. So, guys, since we're talking about film, we all know who Ridley Scott is. He's brought us classics like Blade Runner. He brought us classics like Legend. He's brought us Alien and many, many more. But like
Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
I have not seen that movie. Doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen it. I don't actually know if it's good or awful. I just have no interest in it whatsoever. That's not a movie that needed a sequel.
I agree. He dies in the end. Spoiler alert for a 25-year-old movie.
I was about to say, sorry, decade, and while we're at it, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. He's Anakin Skywalker. Sorry, ruined it for you. That's not a sequel that needed to be made. But anyway, he's a great filmmaker, at least. Sure.
But he, like Martin Scorsese and a lot of these older guys, have issue with modern-day film. And while I do agree that a lot of modern film lacks the quality, the writing, the storytelling, just every element, because I've been making videos where I try to get to the root of why a lot of entertainment sucks. And now, obviously, the quick answer is money, because they want to make a quick buck, they want to do things that are easy, they want to cash in on recognizable brand names. That's obvious. We all know that stuff. But I think there's a greater problem, and I do think that a lot of art sucks today because cultural literacy, and that phrase to me means if I watch an episode of I Love Lucy, it's good that I know enough about the 1950s and the political climate. We're coming off World War II, the baby, all these things. I understand that. I wasn't alive in 1950, whatever, when I Love Lucy was on. Same thing with watching an episode of Star Trek. I get it that it takes place in the 23rd century. It's the future. But knowing the landscape of the 1960s, those stories make so much more sense. And I feel like I'm able to embrace them and understand them on a deeper level. And when you watch older stuff, I think it makes you just a more knowledgeable reader or viewer. A lot of films can't make films that take that or have that assumption that the audience is understanding what they're talking about, because we have 2 or 3 generations, let's just say 2 generations of people who refuse to understand the context of things. They only want to consume stuff in a vacuum. They want it to meet their current sensibilities. And let's be honest, when you're 19 years old, your sensibilities aren't the same as 29 or 39 or 49, though I haven't hit 39 or 49 yet. Script, what is it like to be 98? Do you have the same sensibilities as 78?
Yeah, it's pretty indistinguishable. He's just more grumpy and gassy.
Hey, it's just like being 36 then.
What the hell?
But so the reason I make that long roundabout introduction is I can understand why someone who's older that has made legendary films and has done great work would have issues with modern day entertainment. But Ridley Scott was quoted as saying, "I don't watch modern movies. I just watch my movies."
So he's suffering the same problem of AI.
Yeah. I heard that quote and I just wanted to really pick your brain, especially you, Script, who's probably seen every Ridley Scott movie, especially the newer ones.
Sadly.
Yeah, thank you. If he's at home watching his new movies, do you think he's like patting himself on the back going like, I'm doing a great job? Or do you think he's just lying to us and he's just full of shit right here at this quote?
I think the Ridley Scott his career has gone the way it's gone because he didn't have his brother Tony to keep him honest. And
He was
sadly
good.
Tony, ended himself.
Mm.
Tony was like the more creative director, the more fun director. And
Shout out to Sander here for mentioning Kingdom of Heaven. That
Oh, yeah.
movie is phenomenal.
And I mean, I'll say this way: Ridley Scott's not wrong to comment for his commentary on the movies. He's wrong to be watching his own stuff because, I mean, I don't know many directors that do watch their own stuff unless they're doing a commentary on it, or they're going to, or they're going to be doing a lecture on their film, and it's been 20 years since they've actually looked at it, so they'll watch it again to get all that recalled memories. But I mean, to watch your own stuff, like you're going to spend your time watching the byproduct of what you've done repeatedly on a regular basis. That's just foolish and a waste of your time. You should be looking at newer filmmakers, seeing where they're going off the rails, and then you should be making masterclasses about like, this is what film used to be. This is what it is now. This is why I prefer the old ways. And this is why I don't like the stuff the way it's done today. I mean, Ridley Scott has said it far worse. James Gunn, on one of his podcasts, like 2 weeks ago or so, talked about how much he hates how modern movies are filmed because they'll lock a camera, there'll be a shot of the characters, they won't be moving anything in the frame, they'll say their lines, and then you'll get to another shot. And he's like, that's not filmmaking to me anymore. And that's frustrating to watch because you have a space.
That's sitting there just rolling.
Yeah, you have a space.
Yeah.
Use your space. One of the things that we can appreciate, like you mentioned I Love Lucy, Jeff, those sitcoms were literally a one-act play for their television. People moved around in the sets. They hit their marks. They interacted with things around the room. They talked to each other. They weren't just talking to each other. They were doing things at the same time. The camera followed them. I'm hard-pressed to think of many television shows that do that aside from maybe St. Dennis Medical, Only Murders in the Building. Yeah, those are the only two I can think of right now that are new shows. That's it. Everything else you can easily say, oh, yeah, they locked out the camera. They're doing their thing. Tim Allen's latest show, Shifting Gears. Yeah, they lock off the camera. They do the shot, and then they go to like camera 2 or 3 for close-ups or mediums. But all they're doing is just standing around. They're not really moving anything. They're not doing anything. Maybe they'll sit on a sofa or a couch, and it'll just be boring.
Uninspired cinematography.
Whereas you go to All in the Family, you'll start out with that classic shot of Archie Bunker sitting in his chair, Edith next to him, and then Mike on the couch. But then someone will open the door and come on in. And what happens? The camera will follow them a little bit. Everybody will get up, and they'll start moving around and going around there, and you'll get reframed shots of the same location, and you'll be able to see a performance. You'll be able to see a conflict, and it'll be, usually funny. There's effort to that. But now I don't know many actors that don't know anything other than, okay, this is your mark. Stand here, say your lines, don't move or do anything. And
There's no ownership of your space.
Not really
As an actor in a lot of the stuff now, which is weird because
but
that's
actors
something
aren't even taught that anymore. That's the thing.
I was going to say. Maybe that's something that's not actually encouraged or taught anymore, because I know that at least when I was doing stage and TV and film school, that was something that was heavily impressed upon, at least by my instructors, because if you don't have a presence, what's the point of you being there?
Well, they've redefined what the presence is, which is the presence is how much can you control with as little movement as possible. And you know why they do that? They're like, because you're probably going to be working in TV. Production is like 6 to 10 days for an episode. You got to make your day. We're not complicating things. Stand here, do your thing. We'll do another camera setup for when you do a movement from one point of the room to the other, or leaving or an exit of the scene, and then you just keep going. And TV
That's
has been
watering
like that
down.
since 2000.
Well, even more than that, that's such a watering down of what was already a huge watering down of you take stage, right? Stage is big. You're open. When you're acting, your gestures are far more open and large, right? Because you're trying to play to a live audience. You want to play to the back of the auditorium so that everybody can actually hear what the heck you're saying and see what it is that you're doing. Somebody that's in the back few rows isn't going to see little things that you're doing with your face, right? It's different in TV and film where they have the option of doing those close-up shots if that's what's called for that scene. And so naturally, TV and film, it's closer, it's more brought in, it's a little more, I guess, intimate in that regard, where you at least have the opportunity and option of leveraging some more subtle things with your gestures and whatnot, and with your tone, because you got boom mics and you got all sorts of stuff that can pick up on the subtleties, right, on the small stuff, and make it still able to be seen and able to be heard for the movie going or TV watching audience. But to get rid of any amount of real, I don't know, ownership of a space, you still, even in TV and film, as I was taught, you still want to own the space that you're occupying and have a presence there, even as a not starring role character. Obviously, you don't want to be trying to show up the star. That's an entirely different problem. But you want to actually seem like you actually have a place there, like you're not just an afterthought, right? To act otherwise makes no sense whatsoever. At that point, like I said, why are you there? If you have no presence, what's the point?
Yeah, and the audience is talking about this too. The Rodent says maybe the new generation of actors don't know how to hit their mark, so the production has to awkwardly go around their lack of talent.
Don't know how to hit your marks. Go to acting school. I mean, get a, or even just take a workshop.
Yeah, I have never had a desire to be an actor. Making movies is one thing, but I do see there are some great actors that are out there. Like when Robert Downey Jr. is on the screen, I'm like, cool, Robert Downey Jr., let's see what he's going to do. But then there are a lot of ones that I'm just like, I don't know why this person's famous, at all. I don't want to pick on her, but I've watched Zendaya and some stuff, and I'm like, why is she a big deal to people? She's not entertaining at all.
She can kind of sing, but other than that, she's not much, at least in anything that I've seen her in, she's not really much of an actress.
No, she has an exotic face that people like, but she has no body. And
she's a rail.
Yeah, she's a rail. And
the body of an 11-year-old boy, and I'm sorry, that's not attracted to somebody who's attracted to, even less so than her. Somehow.
I feel like a lot of people, well, you just use people because, really weird-looking people, we're told that they're so great, and people on the internet buy into that shit. I don't really care that much. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night going, "Oh God damn it, Zendaya, blah blah blah." I just don't give a shit. It'd be weird if I did.
Yeah, ultimately, it doesn't affect me. I don't care, but it is strange to me.
But what I'm getting at is, I find that I don't think that their talent supersedes their weirdness. If you can be fuck ugly, you be a weird looking person. Let me refer.
Danny Trejo.
I was going to
take it back and go Steve Buscemi, because I want to pull back the fuck ugly.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Steve Buscemi is not a conventionally handsome person, or whatever you want to say about him, but he is an awesome actor. And anytime he shows up in something, I'm like, holy shit, that guy knows how to act. I'm there. Even Happy Gilmore 2, garbage movie, but Steve Buscemi, I at least was paying attention to his role. But
Escape
But
from
for-
LA. Yeah.
please
Cheesy
don't
movie.
mention that
Steve
movie.
Buscemi's awesome in it.
That is true. That is my least. No, it's one of my least favorite John Carpenter movies. This time of year, I watch a lot of horror, and John Carpenter always pops up. But there's like no time where I ever want to watch Escape from L.A. Escape
Or
from New
Ghost
York.
of Mars.
Is that your least favorite one?
That's my least favorite one because it is essentially a Snake Plissken film without Snake Plissken because they had to get Ice-T to play, or Ice Cube, one of the Ices.
It's Ice Cube.
Yeah, to fill in that role.
Vanilla
On Mars.
Ice, Iced Tea, Ice Cube, they're all the same, right?
I think
Except
what
for
we
one's
should
white.
do, maybe on this show or on the podcast proper, is do a debate. Who's the better iced actor, Ice Cube or Ice T? Because like there's an argument for both because they've gone from rapper or singer because Body Count was a punk rock band, but like they've gone from musician to like pretty good actor. War of the Worlds may have been an absolute piece of shit film, but Ice Cube's been in a bunch of stuff. And he's pretty good overall. And his kid's a good actor, too.
I'm
Like,
just
that's a-
surprised there hasn't been a celebrity that's popped up named Iced Coffee.
Well, you don't know what I'm going to do in my next career, so I might become Iced Coffee. You want to help me build a present script? We can all have food-based names for our
We could
acting
do that. I mean,
personas.
listen, I could go buy ice cream, because I'm white.
That's true. And Andrew is, what are you? What ice are you? Ice milk? No, that's too much like ice cream.
I'm about to say that I'm white, but apparently script is whiter, so I feel like I don't get to claim that. That's
I
a
mean,
good
you could go-
question.
you could be sour cream if you want. But then you
Caffeinated
get
ice.
bitter.
It has to have the ice theme, so it'd be like,
You could be iced coffee since you're caffeinated wolf. I'll come up with another ice name for me.
Espresso.
ice
Stone
espresso.
Cold. No, folks in the chat, let's see. Ice cone, ice espresso, boba tea is Andrew. Yeah, all right, boba tea it is.
Boba tea is good, man. That's cool.
Hey, when I was in college, everybody wanted to go get bubble tea is what they called it back then. And I'm just like, all right.
Uh-huh.
And all I knew was that it was like delicious fruity drinks that, they were tasty. So I'm all
They are
about-
tasty.
Yeah, I'm all about the... And you can throw vodka into bubble tea if you really want to.
Or you
I've done
could,
that before.
if you're determined enough, you could probably throw vodka in anything. Ask the Russians.
Hey, there's vodka sauce, so you can even have vodka with pizza.
Man. You get a vodka with your vodka if you really want.
I have. It's called a double, Andrew. It's the only way to drink.
Yeah.
No, but the Ridley Scott comment, to get, I guess, kind of back on track. We're just having fun with everything now. The chat, we got ice burn, ice water.
Ice facility.
Your ice water.
Ice water.
Ice water.
Stupid. That's somehow the dumbest and yet probably the best one.
Ice wine.
Ice
there we
water
go.
is still better than vanilla ice.
Wait, iced
I
wine?
like
Who
vanilla
said
ice.
iced wine?
I did. I said iced wine because you drink wine.
There I am. There I am. There it is.
Iced
All
wine.
right, ice wine.
There it is.
sounds- It almost sounds like you said ice wine. It's like a Apple version of a pork product. But yeah, ice wine it is. That's your rapper name.
Ice
I'm
wine.
Coffee.
Ice
Sure, why not? You know what? I'm okay with it just because I love wine.
I do too. I may not drink hard liquor anymore, but I'll drink wine. Drank a bottle of it after I finished my book. I was like, that's how I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to drink a bottle of wine.
That's a
and eat
good
steak.
celebration. Oh wow, that's what cut did you have? What'd you do?
A porterhouse.
Oh man,
It was a big steak, and I reverse seared it.
You
and
deserved
timed it. Thank you.
Ooh.
It turned out well. I was very surprised with how good it turned out. So, now I'm hungry at 11:45 at night. Thanks, me.
right?
No,
I'm like, I've got a few extra leftover tacos from dinner.
Well, you go have those tacos. I didn't have tacos for dinner, but I wish I did. It is Tuesday after all. Does anybody actually celebrate Taco Tuesday? I've always wanted to live a life where I do, but
Every now and then, my sister and I'll go out to it's one of the local places is called Torchy's, and they have a bunch of different like specialty tacos that they'll do, and so we'll go there. We'll grab whatever 2 or 3 different specialty tacos, and then we'll get like either frozen margaritas or frozen sangrias, stuff like that, and just kind of like chill. It'll be like at the end of our Tuesday, and we're like, you know what? It's neither a Monday or a Friday, but it's close enough.
Oh yeah, as an adult, you can definitely justify like, I'm gonna have a couple of drinks or do whatever on a Tuesday night as long as I get up in the morning. That's all that matters.
Emily Kruger in the chat gets us. She says there's Torchies there in Arizona. Right on, Emily. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Big fan of the Rippaverse she is, and I appreciate her.
You could be Iced Taco, says Sander Hammerslag.
Ice taco. I feel like I'd have to say it in Spanish, and it's been a really long time since I've been in high school and been one of two white guys on an otherwise all Mexican soccer team. So I don't remember how to say that.
Isn't Hielo like yellow? Isn't that the word for ice?
Dude,
because when I went to Spain,
I genuinely don't remember.
I kept asking for water without ice, and then the guy basically was like, "You say it like this." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So I went to Spain like 20we years ago, so I'm trying to remember this.
That's a long time, man.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? We're at the age where I could be like, "Yeah,
20 years ago, we were still in high school."
Yep.
20 years ago.
Dude, I worked a shitty fast food job. I saved my money to go on that trip. So,
dude,
that was a fun experience.
20 years ago would have been 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a sophomore. I was working at a local theme park during the summer is what I was doing for work.
Rallies. That was it.
I got a college diploma. My second.
Shut up, old man.
Look, I did well on the ACT, but I wasn't going to college at 9 years old. I wanted to have a normal life, play video games, watch TV.
I qualified for all the honors classes and the whatever the hell the other one was.
The applied classes. I remember
AP. It was AP, right?
Yeah.
AP? Does that sound right? AP. Yeah. Like I applied. I qualified for those. I did them. It was annoying.
That was the point in my life, though, where I knew I wanted to be a comic book artist. So it's like, I'm going to go to school and do well. But, like, if you look at any of my margins and notebooks from, like, the last 20 years...
It's all, like, doodles and the shit?
It's mostly Spider-Man jumping around the page.
That's amazing. Shit. I respect the hell out of that.
I knew it. Like I said, I knew I wanted to do it at a very early age. So I was just like, all right, I'm training for it. I didn't want to be a pro wrestler. I didn't want to be a football player. But I wanted to
You could have done both.
No, he would have no knees if he was a football player.
I'm glad I wasn't a football player because they said your average lineman's life expectancy is like 55 years old. And yeah, it'd be great to like live it up and do that.
Wow.
But like, I don't want to die in the next 19 years. So
that's not a long life. Like,
nope.
That would have been like my dad. That's 20 years ago from my dad. Like,
I don't
more than 20 years ago.
This is a crazy comment to make on this show because on the podcast it would be a little different because those guys are big sports fans. But I think we'll continue to see, like, not because of like popular culture not liking football or sports, but I think less and less people will like put their kids in football. We'll eventually get to a point, maybe not in our lifetimes, but in the future, where it's like, well, yeah, football turnout isn't what it used to be. It's like, oh, why? Well, because people are worried about other damages in CT and other shit like that. Me personally,
people
it just
were tearing their ACLs and shit. I don't know.
I knew people that blew their knees out in high school and still can't walk right. It's like, I mean, I get it. You're passionate about it, but why destroy your body for high school sports? You have like a 1 in like 5,000 chance of making it pro.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
Like if you're in high school and you're hitting times or whatever it is, like I only say times because I did track and cross country. So like if you're competing at a level where it's like hitting nationals for like college level and stuff, to where maybe you've got a potential NCAA and beyond, career ahead of you. That's one thing. But for the vast majority of people, we're talking like 99.5% of people, dude, do not destroy your body for high school sports. High school will come and it will go in the blink of an eye, and nothing from it will matter.
Yeah, it's a very important time in your life, but it's also like a very irrelevant time in your life because it's like,
it's both.
You need to do
it's
well
weird.
To get to college, and then it's like, I have one friend that I still see from high school. All my other friends are either from college or like friends that I made as an adult. I didn't go back to my reunion. I had a good time. But
most of my friends that I still have from California are either from college or after college.
Yeah, That's why I love the line in 21 Jump Street. You peaked in high school, motherfucker. As he shoots the guy in the dick. It just makes me laugh because I knew so many people that peaked in high school. I was at Kings Island over the summer and I ran into a dude from high school, and it's like he was okay. He wasn't like a douchebag or anything, but it's just like he kind of fit the stereotype of peaking in high school, and it's like, all right, you're the exact same person. Good for you.
You never grew outside of what you were in high school. That's not a compliment.
I mean, I got to be careful. He's a cop. He might find me and, harass me on the side of the road or something, like, on the way back from a con.
Just say he racial profiled you.
That's true. He is white.
Or at least he racial profiled half of you. I don't know.
Hey, the other day, somebody walked up to me as I was leaving the store, like, are you Samoan? Like, people can't gauge what I am 90% of the time. I'm okay with that.
Really? Samoan?
Dude, I've never told you the story how Roman Reigns' aunt mistook me for being a family member of theirs.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So my uncle, it starts as a sad story. Don't take it as a sad story though. But my uncle was in hospice. It was, near the end of his cancer.
Oh, that's a
And
sad story.
The nurse comes in one day, and this nurse keeps looking at me. I'm like, I don't know this lady. Like, why does she keep looking over at me? And so we're talking and this and that, and it comes and she's like, yeah, I thought you were part of the family. Like, I've been mistaken for Samoans, literally the wrestling people. Like, I don't think I look anything like them. But lots of people say I do, so I just lean into it. Like, if I was ever at a wrestling event and they're like, blah, 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 about the Anawati family, I'm like, yeah, I'm Cousin Jeff from Ohio. Let me in. I'll lie, hang out backstage. I'll lie to their faces and tell them I'm related to them. See if they even notice or care.
What was it? The bloodline? Was that what the story was a couple of years back?
It's still going on, actually.
Oh, is it really? I haven't religiously watched WWE since like 2019.
You're not missing out. It's pretty unbearable.
Good to know I'm not missing much.
But yeah, I've been mistaken for like those people many, many times. And I'm okay with it. Like I said, it's not like I'm mistaken for like Steven Seagal or somebody that sucks.
No, you have charisma.
Yeah, and I don't fake my martial arts prowess. I mean, I have a trophy, but I would never start a fight because I'm like, such a badass.
Steven Seagal has all of the charisma of a dying amoeba.
And I wouldn't have cheated on Kelly LeBrock.
And half the acting ability.
1/10. Come on now. He almost got punked out by Van Damme. Van Damme. Well,
he should have been.
Yeah, Van Damme challenged him to a fight. I read this book on action heroes, and all these big action stars were at a party in Miami with Stallone and a couple other people, and Seagal was just trying to show off what a badass he was. It also told the story about how Stallone had like a crush on Princess Diana or something and got really upset when he had dinner with her. I'll look up the story and tell it to you with better context, but it was a great book. I highly recommend it. I'll get you the
All right. Yeah, shoot it to me.
Speaking of titles, TLJ Screwjob, what is up, my friend? He says, hearing the AOL talk reminds me of when I was in college, and in 2016, in a group project, I was talking about AOL. You've Got Mail guy did Uber. Wait, what? Did you guys know that?
Wait, he made Uber or he became an Uber driver?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, either of those is an option when it comes to Hollywood. Sometimes your career crashes that hard.
I'm hoping, because I know Ashton Kutcher, like, invested in Uber and is, like, a billionaire, but...
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah.
And he's married to Mila Kunis, so...
Yeah, that's not a grooming story if I haven't heard one.
Oh, yeah, I forgot she was super young on that 70s show.
Yeah, she's 14 when she started that 70s show.
Have you ever heard how she got the job?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, like she auditioned for it. They then asked her, when are you going to be 18? She said, I'll be 18 on my birthday.
Yep.
And they inferred that was the next birthday. And then afterwards, they already did it. The other part, too, is like Mila Kunis's dad was kept everything on private accounts so that she had no idea how much money she was making until years after that 70s show ended.
Oh. Well,
yeah, and from what I've seen from interviews now, like she has a crap ton of money and her like family refuses to like accept anything from her.
Yeah.
Well, she made all of her money from American Psycho too. That was such a great piece of cinema.
Oh yeah.
No, wouldn't she have gotten all of her money from residuals from that 70s show?
American Psycho 2 is like one of those it's so bad it's terrible movies. It's like not enjoyable like The Room is bad. It's like it's Mila Kunis playing a follow-up to Patrick Bateman, and William Shatner's in the movie. It just sucks.
It's actually better.
I've never seen it.
There's a gosh, who was it? It was the guy who's in Dawson's Creek, whose name has escaped me. He was in technically a pseudo sequel to American Psycho.
Was it James Van Der Beek?
James Van Der Beek, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Dawson's
It's the
Creek.
college movie that he did, because he plays a Bateman in that one, and it's got a similar narrative style of like, you know, he's creepy, obsessive, kind of borderline ready to do some real damage.
Well, I haven't seen it. I don't
I
really
can't remember
follow
the
James
title.
Van Der Beek's career. Folks in the chat, let me know if you're a James Van Der Beek enthusiast. I have a feeling most of you are going to say maybe. But TLJ Screwjob, the "You Got Mail" was like, remember everybody had that as like their text tone, like when smartphones were out. It's like, haha, you got mail. And it was kind of like ironic and funny for a minute. And then you're just like, I thought that was dead 10 years ago. And now you don't hear it anymore. I think it would be refreshing to hear "You've Got Mail." Maybe I'll change my phone. You ever notice, like, we are so avoiding the Ridley Scott comment? I think we kind of touched everything we
We have
needed
way
to
more
touch
interesting
on.
things to talk about than Ridley Scott's
just-
commentary
I
on
mean,
current day media.
What are we gonna say? Like, it was Ridley Scott, kind of like, and I say this as someone I love the original Alien, I love Gladiator, I love Kingdom of Heaven, as I stated earlier. Like, he's got a great body of work in, you know, the last couple of decades, but he's also got some stuff where it's like, man, like, you really shouldn't be jerking yourself off and giving yourself ego berry pies like that. Like, calm down. Like, you are saying right now, you only rewatch your own stuff. You don't watch anything else. I don't know. Like, I don't care who you are and how good your movies are. To me, that just kind of makes you an asshole. You're just kind of a prick, and you're snuffing your own farts.
Yeah.
I can't have much respect for you at that point. Like, I can compartmentalize, right? I can say you still have this body of work that comprises some really phenomenal stuff, but this thing you're saying right here, right now, you're out of your mind. Calm down. You're not God's gift to filmmaking.
No, that was his
Relax.
brother, and he should
Yeah.
watch Top Gun.
Like,
Or,
like
or
calm
Beverly Hills
down.
Cop 2.
Okay? Like, seriously, calm down. You are not that special. Nobody is. No
Do you think
filmmaker is.
Do you think if Ridley Scott would have directed the Rocks movie, that it would have been a bigger hit?
Oh, the one of
Smashing Machine?
yeah. No.
I mean, everything that I've heard about that is like, at least as a movie, it's actually a good piece of work, but just like there's no audience for it. People don't actually care.
Well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I'm sorry to say, he's not really a movie star. He just isn't.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with the fact that I think
Even though what I'm told, he actually probably had one of his best performances in that.
No, I think he's a good actor. Like, he can be a good actor, but he has done something silly where when he started to do movies, like starting with The Mummy 2 and then The Scorpion King and then moving, expanding out that way, he took way more control of what he would be in as opposed to allowing basically the industry guide him to his strengths. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger did whatever people wanted him to do to figure out what his strengths are and
Right.
what people want to show up to do.
Did Conan initially? He was trying to, with Terminator, famously, he was trying to try out for Kyle Reese, but instead, they pushed him towards the Terminator.
They flipped it around because they're going to make the
Yeah.
Terminator look very sinew and weak, and then that the irony is that it's incredibly strong.
Yeah,
And you're like, no, let's just go literal with it and just make him big and imposing and make the guy, scrawny and what have you. And that
and
worked.
he was the star. Like,
And
he was the
star.
guy. Yeah.
But the thing is, with The Rock, I mean, I think by his fourth feature film, he started becoming producer or executive producer on the stuff. And that goes, I guess, to his agent, Danny, who is his
Ex-wife.
ex-wife.
Mhm.
But it completely, he's been trying to force an outcome for his career that is not in line with what is to his skill set.
Mm.
And as oddly as it is to say, like, John Cena's the better actor of the two that
Yep.
came out of that part. because I saw him just in
That's
Ricky's-
sad to hear because I don't really care for John Cena's acting in most things that I see him in. But
thing, he
The
knows
Rock,
how to
even
lose
though
himself in a
he's just
role.
playing The Rock in most stuff, that's kind of what I go to see him as.
Yeah, I mean that works too. Like John Cena, I've seen him lose himself in the roles where you're like, okay, I'm not really seeing John Cena here. I'm seeing a guy who's desperately trying to act and who's not failing at it, like compared to other wrestlers that try to get into acting.
Just out of curiosity, what role are you thinking of when you say that?
There's a couple in there, mostly on the comedy side of things.
Okay.
The first time I
Films.
noticed that he actually had a talent was in The Marine. I was
Oh,
shocked.
his very
Okay,
first movie.
That's his very
I
first movie.
haven't seen that one.
Oh, let me correct myself. That is not his very first movie. He
It's
actually
not?
predates The Rock in movies. John Cena's in Ready to Rumble.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a background character, but he's in Ready to Rumble. Before he
Okay.
broke into wrestling, because the WCW had a thing called the Power Plant where they would, wrestlers would go train, and they made a movie in 1999 that came out in 2000, and John Cena is in that film.
I think I saw one of Orton's Marine films before I saw Cena's.
They're better than the Miz's.
Well, see, that's kind of sad because he's actually better on the mic.
The Miz has won at life. The Miz has the best life of any wrestler. He's got
He's-
the best looking wife. He's
I
got
was
the
about
best
to say-
schedule. He's got it all.
He did okay. He did okay. He was one of the best intercontinental champions and US champions in like the past couple of decades. He's got Maurice, right? It's Maurice. Yeah, as his wife. I will never forget, and I promise I'm not going to derail us onto a wrestling tirade here, but when he popped off on Daniel Bryan, when Daniel Bryan was like being all sad and sappy about like not working and not wrestling, and The Miz had been grinding for years and years and working his ass off, and he went off script when he was like commentating.
yeah.
I was like, you freaking tell him.
Dude, I used to
This
love
is
Daniel
awesome.
Bryan, but he has fallen. Like, you ever have somebody that just like bitches too much, like an actor or a celebrity, and you're like, can you like not sound like such a twat right now? Like he's been bitching for the last couple of years. I'm like, man, I was there when you won the big belt at WrestleMania 30. I was there when you retired.
I was there for the
all
yes
the
movement.
shit.
I was there. I
I was
remember
a huge
it.
member of it, but it's just like he and a lot of those guys are so contrarian these days in AEW. It's like, we get it. You hate Vince McMahon and you hate that you had to do entertainment with wrestling, but your careers were bigger there than they'll ever be anywhere else. And I'm not saying you owe Vince anything. All I'm saying is constantly trying to bitch at us for liking something that you didn't enjoy or you don't enjoy in hindsight, but it did, you liked cashing the checks.
It did a lot for your career and your
It
and your
defined
bank account.
career.
Yeah.
Not breaking your neck in Japan or fucking around in a bingo hall like the WWE machine made you, man.
Love it or hate it.
Yeah. And I'm very anti WWE these days, dude, especially with all their price gouging and all this other shit. Like, I'm just stepping away from wrestling. So it's a long story. Folks, you talk about being upset by Disney Star Wars. I am, but I feel betrayed.
Talk
by
to a
wrestling.
longtime wrestling fan about the current state of professional wrestling.
Yep. Goddamn Undertaker and his podcast. That's a topic for another time.
That's a whole other thing, man.
Shout out to Susan. Make sure you send me that message, Susan, to info@worldclassbullshitters.com so we can ship out your stuff to you. I haven't forgotten about you. I just checked the emails. I didn't see anything. But how's Batista's latest movie doing? Do they pussyfy him because the boss girl? I don't follow Batista's movies as much, but I also think Batista is a better actor than The Rock. He just, And the thing is,
He's
I
a
don't think-
decent actor. The something that really does, like, okay, I got to get this off my chest because I've seen it with Batista. I've seen it with The Rock. It was even also with John Cena fairly recently until he was back in the ring more regularly. But it was also a thing with a lot of other wrestlers prior to them. When you stop grinding for even a short period of time, you stop bulking, you stop cutting, you stop doing all these things, that weight disappears really quick. That muscle mass disappears really, really quickly. Whether you were on juice or not, and some of these guys were, and some of these guys weren't. So while we can laugh and make fun of like maybe some of their choices of clothing, which is kind of weird for some of them, to be honest. Like Batista's worn some weird stuff, but like I don't. When I saw those photos of even like Batista or The Rock in recent months where it looks like they lost like 20, 30, 40 pounds or something like that, and they look way thinner than what we typically think of them as in their more bulky wrestling forms, right? I just look at that and I'm like, well, I mean, if they're not actively bulking up or actively maintaining, then yeah, the weight's going to disappear. That muscle mass doesn't just stay there in perpetuity. That's not how the human body works.
No,
if you think it does, you've never been an athlete your entire life.
I just remember reading the comments online. People were like, The Rock has AIDS. The Rock is dying, this and that. I'm just like,
oh my God.
I hope not. That's all I thought to myself. Because he definitely looks noticeably different. But
he does. He absolutely
when you're in your
does.
50s, you can't do that shit forever.
You know how many calories do you have to ingest in order to maintain that size?
Yeah, and even a 5 or 10 year difference can make all the difference in the world in terms of like whether or not you're able to maintain that consistently in a healthy manner. So he can't be bulking in the way that he was 10 years ago. This goes for The Rock. This goes for Batista. And I don't actually even really like Batista. I never have, except for one moment. It was back in the 2010s. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was either Raw or was SmackDown. So it was one of the two. So obviously it was one of the bigger two shows. But he said something to Stephanie McMahon that made Randy Orton break character live on air. And Stephanie like slapped Batista. It was absolutely hysterical. It was a great night. But like you can't maintain that kind of muscle mass once you get older. Like you just can't. It doesn't work that way. The human body does not function in that manner, not in a healthy way anyway. So like if The Rock is now not as big as he was 10 years ago, or Batista's not as big as he was 10 years, hell, Cena right now, who's still actively wrestling, he's not as big as he was 10 years ago.
Nope.
There's a noticeable difference. He also has hair transplants. But
hey, money can
like,
buy you anything.
Money, hey, I respect it. I got nothing against it.
Oh yeah,
let's not pretend like the human body just stays at maximum peak efficiency in perpetuity. That's not what it does.
Well, I think there's just unrealistic expectations that people have from being online chronically, where they just don't understand how things work, because we're getting to a point where people just lack the life experience that your average everyday person would get by just existing. You know, the digital
existing off the internet.
Yeah, I understand. Like, you know, we're old enough that we're like, yeah, when you weren't on the internet 24/7, you had to go do shit, or you had to get off the computer at a certain time because it took up your phone line. You know, shit was different. But, you know, chronically online is something else. I like how I've become the voice of what are the problems in society and how can we fix them? I guess I should stop watching so much YouTube. But the reason I asked you about The Rock's movie is, do you think there's any, like... I just want to know what you guys thought of the trailer, because I think there's a small contingent of people online that want to see him fail because they're fed up with him. They think he's fake, or they're tired of that. They're upset over the shit from Maui. But I just think the movie comes out at the wrong time.
I just want good entertainment. If the movie's good, I mean, I'd be interested in taking a look at it. That's all I care about. Like, I think the stuff that went down in Maui with, like, what was it, all the fires and all that? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that was some bullshit. And I can understand people's, like, attitudes towards that 100%. Like, I won't fault you for that. But, like, at the same time, compartmentalize, like, be objective. Does this person's actions here in this thing mean that this thing that they did over here was not of quality, whether good quality or bad quality? Those are two separate things. We talk about this all the time, separating art from artists. Like, as a comic book fan, I can say Mark Waid is a, TDS nutcase and psychopath on social media who should get off of social media for the rest of his life, for the entirety of the remaining part of his existence. He should never be online. But he knows how to write superheroes, at least within the DC universe, unlike almost anybody else in the history of DC Comics. Those two things are separate issues. I can say, you're a nutcase, stop acting like that, chill the hell out. But I can also say over here, you understand these characters and you're a good writer. Like, those are two different things.
Yeah, he did Kingdom Come, right?
He did do Kingdom Come, which is it's a solid book. I would say it's recommended reading. It is Elseworlds. It is a good book.
It's more popular for Alex Ross's art than it is for the story.
That's the thing. That's
why I had to ask who wrote it, because I knew who drew it.
It is more popular for Alex Ross's painted art, which I actually, to be a contrarian here, I guess, I prefer Alex Ross on covers rather than his interiors.
You're not a contrarian when you're talking to me about this. Because I feel the same way. It's too rich. It's like so in your face.
It's just too much for me. His work is beautiful, but I just want it like in bite sizes. Like, give me an amazing cover, give me an amazing splash. The interiors, not so much. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I accept all kinds of different interiors to the point where they could be simplistic, detailed, whatever, but I like my covers a little more detailed and epic.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what... It's not why I buy a comic.
And his covers were...
I just think, dude, they are great. Even his, like, basic, just... And I don't mean basic as in, like, level of detail, but just, like, a person standing in front of a white background. Like,
right, just, like, super simple composition, right? It just exudes power and majesty.
If it wasn't, like, $500 for a print, I would get all the prints he's done of the... where he repaints classic covers.
Oh, I love when he does that.
Yeah,
I love when he does that.
Great, like, it would be so cool to have, like, I don't think he's ever done Amazing Fantasy, but to, like, see him do...
No, but he has done, I'm pretty sure he's done a painted, like, remaster or whatever you want to call it of Amazing Spider-Man 1.
I think he's done definitely Detective Comics 27. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, he's done some huge ones.
He did all the pictures for the Spider-Man 2 movie. Like, the opening credits are all Alex Ross artwork.
Yeah. Super seminal to our upbringing.
It's Alex Ross doing John Romita-style Spider-Man, who's my favorite artist, so... But I've been studying a lot of John Buscema lately, because his
good choice.
Work is just so powerful.
Good choice.
People are like, who are these names? All right, folks, I'm studying the guy who drew Conan the Barbarian in the 70s.
Yeah, there you go.
And, like, also did every Marvel character you could think of.
The 3 comic book fans in the chat are like, I see you!
It's okay. We got a lot of people that like comics in the chat. That's why they're counting down the days till Stealing Solo 2 drops.
Yes, they are.
They're
I'm counting down the days.
I'm counting down the days. Then I'm excited. Oh, we got some love from Mike Mignola in the chat. Mike Mignola's great. Love his posters. Love his covers. Now that's the kind of artwork that's stylized, but I like it in sequential form. Like, I don't really get fed up with it. It's it's easily digestible.
Doesn't work with every style.
No, and his art style doesn't work with every character. It works for Wolverine and certain X-Men characters. It obviously works with Hellboy, his own creation. But, like, I wouldn't want to see Mike... And it works with Batman, too. But I wouldn't want to see, like, Mike Mignola on Fantastic Four.
I wouldn't want to see Mike Mignola on, like, Flash or Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
I don't even want to see him on Superman. Like, I like Superman to be bigger and brighter and bolder with less shadows.
At Dallas Fan Festival this past weekend, my booth was right next to Kerry Gamble.
Ooh. He's a great Superman artist.
Yes, he is. And my direct supervisor over the Rippaverse, Caro, she's our assistant editor-in-chief, and she's also the writer and creator of our kind of like space ragtag group called The Dirty Deeds. She commissioned him to draw one of her characters, and it came out so well. He banged it out in like an hour and a half or so, like, while also juggling other commissions from other people. And man, it is so people who aren't like really ingrained in comic book culture might not understand the significance of it, but to see like a grizzled veteran of like his caliber still just like crank out incredible work like to this day, that's something special. That's really cool to witness.
That's the weird hypocrisy, and I don't know what the other word I would use for the comic book industry. It's like these guys never really some guys, and yes, as you get older, you do change. But like a lot of these guys don't lose their touch, but they just prioritize newer, hotter artists. And it's like, it's silly to be like, well, you drew Superman in the '90s. You're not good enough to draw him today. It's like, I get it. You may not want Kurt Swan level 30 years on a character, but rotating those guys in, like when I see a Romita Jr. come back, I'm like, well, I'm gonna start buying Spider-Man again or something. Like they all have their fan bases. I'm sure comics would sell better if you kept that shit alive.
Yep.
Oh well, I can lament that is not the case. But let's see, let me look at the show notes. I'm not going to cover the 007 poster controversy, folks, because we have a video of that, and I want you guys to check it out. But one last thing I'll ask you guys. Are you like me and laughing at the Xbox failure? Because like that has been like the biggest news story on the internet this week. Everybody, including us, has made videos about it.
Man, so the day Xbox announced that they were raising the price monthly for Xbox Game Pass from, what was it, $19.99 to $29.99. Yep. I was like, I grabbed my phone. I was actually at the office. I think it was on a Wednesday. So I was in the office. That's the one day a week that I go into our headquarters. And I pulled up my phone. I go to Xbox.com. I go to manage subscriptions. And I canceled my Xbox Game Pass. I had been a Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriber for, I think it had said something like 9.5 years or something like that. So almost a decade. I barely used the thing, but there were still enough times, like once or twice a year, where I would end up like trying out a game or just flat out playing through a game. So like earlier this year, Ninja Gaiden 2 HD remaster was released just kind of out of nowhere. They shadow dropped it and they put it on Game Pass like right away. And let me tell you guys, Ninja Gaiden is my game. I played the crap out of that on the original Xbox. I played the original and I played Ninja Gaiden Black. And now for those of you who are older than I am, and when I say original, I mean the original on the Xbox. I'm not referring to the NES one.
The hardest
I
game
know
ever.
there's a difference. And F that game. But I played the crap out of the Xbox, both versions of it, and Ninja Gaiden 2 on my 360. So I was so there for the remake and remaster. And I played the crap out of it. I took a weekend. I was like, you know what? I am not doing squat this weekend other than playing Ninja Gaiden because I've been working my butt off. I'm going to play a damn game. And so I played Ninja Gaiden 2, whatever it's called, remaster or whatever the hell they called it. I played it on the hardest difficulty and I fell like right back into my routine. I was like, I still got it. This is still my freaking game. I had a phenomenal time. And I was like, this is the kind of thing that justifies my subscription to Game Pass. And then what happens like 3 or 4 months later, they raise the price to $30 a month. And I'm like, you know what? I already played through Ninja Gaiden. If I want to play it again, I'll buy it on Steam. I'm good. Okay, thanks, bye. I can't justify $30 a month at that point. That's too much.
Yeah, Nintendo just sent me an email. They're like, your subscription's going to renew for Nintendo Online for $49 a year.
Yeah, for a year.
That ain't shit. And yeah, I get games to play on that. I'm a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. I will cancel after this next billing cycle because I use it. I just can't justify. Like, everything has a limit. And it doesn't matter what I'm making. It's what I'm willing to pay for anything.
Right. It's the value still isn't there. I could be making $10,000 a month and $30 a month for what I get out of that. I still can't justify it.
Dude, I could be a multimillionaire today instead of, next year. And if you told me WrestleMania ticket prices were 60 grand, I'd still watch it from home, from my nice big house. Cause
It's not worth it.
that shit isn't worth it. And Game Pass isn't worth more than $20 a month. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like having it, but what do I play? I play GoldenEye. I play Gears of War. I play stuff that's old. Like, I'm
Well, and
not
all
buying...
all the things that they were offering on Game Pass, for the most part, I was just buying them on other consoles anyway, in addition to having them there. So things like the Persona franchise, because I'm a big fan of a lot of the stuff that Atlas puts out. Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, all the spin-off games from that franchise. Like, I buy that on multiple consoles. Like, I'll get it on my PlayStation, I'll get it on my Steam, I'll get it on my Switch if it's available, and then I'll also like download it on Game Pass and I'll play through it there as well and get the achievements and boost up my achievements because I like the Xbox like ecosystem for the most part, right? I've been an Xbox fan since the original, right? Since 2000, what was it? 2001, 2002,
Yeah.
right?
Same.
You know, I've been playing that stuff forever, but at a certain point, the value is not going up commensurate with the price that you are increasing it with. So I can't justify it. Like, even though I make decent money, I am paid well, I work hard for it, but I'm paid well. I can afford it, but just because I can afford it doesn't make it worth it. And
That's
$30
what
a
I'm
month,
with.
it's not.
No, any streaming service is not worth it. Like, I complained about ESPN and their price hike for to get WWE shows. That's $30 a month. That magic number, anything above like $20, like I can do $1 or $2 more. But when you get into that $30 price range, I go, nope, I don't use $30 worth of entertainment because I keep streaming because it's a convenient thing, and I can just be like, I'm gonna play for 20 minutes today. I got access.
Do you remember
to
when
this shit.
Netflix was like $8 a month?
Oh, I remember. That's what, the weird part is. That's when
Like
Netflix
late
was the best.
2000s or early 2010s, something like that.
I remember I got Netflix in 2010 because
Yeah.
it just so happened to be the 30th anniversary of the Empire
Like
Strikes Back that
$7.99.
day. It was so cheap, and it had such a better library. I don't like companies having their own streaming services because you used to be on Netflix. Oh, they got Dexter, they got this, they got Breaking, they got all these shows, and you're just like, all right, cool. Well, and I only pay $8 a month for all this shit. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody
I was
overvalues their
I was
library.
paying my own way through community college while working as a key holder at Game Crazy. Right?
In
So
Hollywood Video?
connected with Hollywood Video. Yeah, that. And I could afford a Netflix subscription easily.
Nowadays, you got to have like a second job for eggs and milk, but after that, it's
Jeez.
like I can, with the business that I run, technically streaming services are considered a business expense, but like
Yeah.
I still know what I spend a month on this shit, and I'm just like, God, no more.
Yeah, I mean, at least you could write it off if you're using it, but like removing that aspect from it, looking at as it is as just like a normal consumer, right? A normal person who, I know we look down upon the term consumer, but like, look, at the end of the day, you're consuming entertainment, right? You're either doing that or you're not. Most people are. So $30 a month isn't worth that for most people. And a lot of people just flat out can't afford it as well because of the economy or any other number of factors. $29.99 a month for really any service that isn't a necessity, right? That isn't like, oh, this is my internet, or this is my phone bill, or this is my, whatever. Something that actually is requisite to your functioning as an adult human being, as an individual with, whatever is family or whatnot. Like things like streaming movies and TV don't qualify. Sorry. Streaming games or having games on demand, that doesn't qualify. I'm sorry. $30 ain't it. I'm sorry.
Do you think
Well,
Xbox just going to go, or Game Pass is just going to go away? Because they wanted to like bring it to other platforms and they wanted to put it everywhere. I don't think that's going to work for them.
So there's a lot to this, and I've been actually. It's funny. I don't often watch a lot of YouTube, but I've been watching and listening to a lot of YouTube, specifically in the gaming sphere, from very mostly objective sources lately, and specifically surrounding the talk around stuff with Nintendo and stuff with Xbox. And from what I'm gathering, and from what seems to be the general consensus, is Xbox is probably moving towards, though it's not going to be right away because they're still developing a next generation console right now. After this next gen console that they're working on, they're probably going to move more towards a software service, a software platform, whether that's their own streaming thing, or whether they're just making their titles available more to other things, whether it's Epic and their crappy platform. Because I'm sorry, whether you like Fortnite or you hate Fortnite, Epic's platform is dog water. Steam, I mean, they already kind of have a partnership with Steam. Halo Infinite's on there. Whatever that looks like, the likelihood is Xbox as a brand is probably going to move more into a third-party software producer, kind of like what Sega wound up doing after the Dreamcast. That's probably where they're moving, because they can't look, they don't have much of a draw to their hardware as it is. Even though I like the Xbox ecosystem, I do like a couple of the IPs that they own, but those IPs that they own, I can get on Steam. So why am I going to pay another $500-$600 for an Xbox piece of hardware to play one game that I can play on my PC that I already have built? Or maybe I got to pay a little bit extra to upgrade my PC, but then I can play a zillion other things as well.
It's going to be weird for me because I've been an Xbox guy, like you said, since the beginning.
Yeah.
And
the original Xbox was the first console that I purchased with my own money. I worked for it, and I bought the thing.
I got it as a gift for my 15th birthday. Yeah, 15, yeah. I remember getting that and Metal Gear Solid 2 for it. It was a hell of a time. I played it. I loved it. I bought into Xbox everything. The 360 was part of my life back in the day.
I was a massive Halo fan, man. And I still am to this day. I love all the books. I love all the games up through 4.
And I was a Gears of War kid, and I was going back and replaying that because of the remaster, and loving the fact that I could go on there and play the old games with boosted frame rate and resolution, and literally Gears of War 2 looks amazing. I'm wow, I'm really back in, and to the point where I was watching, making up documentaries. I was oh, I got a new Xbox controller, this, that, and the other, and then this news broke, and I went, no, I'm not doing any of this shit, because it's not about feeling disrespected. I just feel like I'm being taken advantage of from the WWE, from Xbox, from all these places. Hasbro. It's nothing to do with what I can't afford. It's what I'm willing to spend for what they give me. And I'm just kind of mad at a lot of these places. I know it's silly to be mad at a company, but I got to feel good about a purchase. And if I don't feel good
I don't even know if I'd say it's silly. I'd say it's reasonable to take a look at a situation and look at the value that you are being presented with, and then looking at the price in the other hand that you are being asked to pay for said value, and say, these don't equate. These are not this. They're this. Here's the price. Here's right? They're not equivalents. And that's okay. That's exactly what I did. I said, you know what? Even though I liked the Xbox, platform, I like its ecosystem. There was a period in my life where I was kind of an achievement hunter, pseudo. I wasn't insane or anything like that, but I was all right, let's see how much of a completionist I can be on, X, Y, or Z game. And I enjoyed that. There was a bit of a hunt and a challenge to it, and I enjoyed that. That was fun for me. I can't justify the price that they're asking for that. I do not get the value for it, and it's okay to say that despite liking the ecosystem, despite liking the platform, despite liking even the IPs that are most associated with said platform, the value just isn't there. You could be able to afford it all day, and that's fine. But you're like, just because I can afford it doesn't make it worth my time or money.
It just sucks. My favorite forms of entertainment are, becoming useless to me. But I sound really lame when I say it. I'm just reading a lot of books. Books are the one thing that I'm happy to drop money on. I'll buy, like, on Amazon sale, literally the first thing I looked for were books. I didn't look at 4Ks right away. I looked for these these coffee table books I buy. They're like $200, so I was hoping to get a deal on Amazon. Oh well, I'll wait. But
have you gone through the Halo books at all?
I have the Fall of Reach. I like them, and I like the lore of Halo, but Halo to me is a multiplayer game. And
That's fair.
Gears of
Oh, that's
War
fine.
is a single player and multiplayer game, but I got into the story of Gears of War more. So
Okay, all right, that's fair.
so because
I'm the
I
opposite.
gravitate towards those characters. I like Marcus and Dom. Like Master Chief's cool and all, but I'm all about just Gears of War. I was there for both
Totally fair.
when they were new, but also too, like, my buddies and I, we went through those campaigns together, and when the third one came out and it was 4 players, like, we all got on Xbox together and we played it on the hardest difficulty and like made an event out of it. Halo, we just shut the hell out of each other and people
Those were the
online.
days, man. Those are the
You know what's
freaking
cool
days.
though? When I go back and do it nowadays, it's still fun because it's that fantasy. Like, you're going on an adventure, you're going to war with your buddies, like, you're doing shit that you're not going to do in real life. And most of my friends live far away. Like, I got a friend in Virginia, Dion's in Michigan, Enrique's in California. Like, it's nice that if you want to just log in and play a game with somebody thousands of miles away, you can. And
Man, I wish I was still in contact with my best friend through like grade school, middle school, and most of high school. Jeff, like, we played through the original trilogy of Halo together. And even the first, what was it, 1 or 2 Gears of War games? Like Master Chief Collection would have been like right up our alley to like replay through
that
and have the ability to play online.
We used to have Halo Fridays at the apartment. When I lived with Dion, we had a couple of roommates. And me and the one roommate, Jake, we would just have Halo Fridays. Literally every Friday. He didn't have class, I didn't have class. We would sit down at like 11 o'clock and we would play Halo from 11 till like dinner time. And it was, it never stopped being fun.
Yeah. We had it good, man. We had it good back then.
What the hell happened, though? Like, it feels like everything switched really quickly to shit. I know I say this all the time, but I can't pinpoint, like, one thing. Like, you can jokingly say, like, oh, the world changed. Like, the world did change during 9/11.
It was a snowball thing.
But all of a sudden,
it was-
it's just, like, yeah, it's been bad.
I think it was just a snowball effect. There were a lot of factors that wound up just kind of like all coalescing into one shitstorm that wound up being anti-consumer, anti-customer, anti-fan, and pro mega corporation, unfortunately. And look, I'm a capitalist. I don't fault anybody for wanting to make their money, but there has to be a balance in a free society of businesses vying for profit and those businesses also at the same time vying for their customers' dollar or their target customers' dollar. And in order to do so, they have to provide said customers with something of value that is commensurate with the price that they are asking for. And we're not really seeing that in a lot of cases right now, even with brands and IPs that we grew up with, that we love. We see that with Star Wars. We see that with Marvel, with DC, and a lot of other brands. And it's really sad to see.
It is. I've watched, a lot of my favorite things die. And, I'm at the point where I make entertainment now, so it's a little different. But if this would have been the switch when I was 22 or 23, man, I'd have been so angry because I watched a lot of stuff. And then it was, a big part of what I did for enjoyment. Love to collect movies, go see movies. But, I guess the pandemic ruined everything. Or, well, that just exacerbated things. They were already in this.
3 stages. First stage was 9/11. Second stage was canceling Star Trek. as silly as it is to sound, 2005, the moment we had no Star Trek, we didn't have a guiding point of culture that showed us that, hey, yeah, as bad as things can be, we believe in ourselves that we can overcome it and make a really great place to live. That left the collective consciousness of the world when it ended there. Then we have the internet and how that exploded when it came to social media, which gave us a conjectured viewpoint of the world plus a transparent viewpoint of the world. They're fighting over each other. So then it also obfuscates the concept of what is reality. Then the pandemic happened, and that showed how easily conditioned a whole generation of people could be. And it's not that businesses were anti-fan; it's that they were discerning the critics from their market base. And what ended up happening is that the trades, which were dying, conflated the critics with the fans and tried to pit audiences against studios, and it worked. Because, again, I've been talking to a number of people on the talent side of things over the last couple of years. You'll never hear them say a terrible thing about a legitimate fan. But you show them one criticism that actually uses, say, some very explicit or vulgar language, and it's also in the minority of the types of criticisms they have, they'll look at that and be like, my fans don't talk that way. I don't believe that person's a fan. And that person who maybe made that post will probably think themselves as a fan. But if they're going to be disrespectful and use abhorrent language, which, frankly, it happens. It's so rare, though. But guess what? You also have a publicity team that hunts for those things. And they do so on behalf of the trade.
That's also going to get highlighted, right?
Well, they do so on behalf of the trade so that the trades can bring it up, get a commentary from the actor or the director or something, so that it can go into their publication so that they can manipulate the answer to the question to say, oh, this person here, he doesn't like the people that buy his products, which is dumb and retarded because nobody thinks that way in the industry.
Yeah, and it becomes a vicious cycle. It
does. I mean, it started with Sony and the Ghostbusters 2016. Do you really think those four women, as terrible that movie was, think that all Ghostbuster fans hated them? And that they were all evil people and all just trolls and basements? No, they were commenting on the people that, were saying, obligatory sexist or slightly racist stuff to them. But guess what? The trades and even part of the production decide to conflate every single point of criticism has to meet that level. And then that's where you get the bleed over. And it's only up to, our own audience, because no one here will ever say anything bad about the audience that comes to support this show. And if anyone were to tell you otherwise, they're lying and trying to gaslight you so that they can, get some popularity or 15 minutes of fame. But that's what's been going on now. It's a trading of conflict among publications, media outlets, and all at the behest of manipulating the people that they're interviewing and manipulating the people that are reading their articles. And it's telling you not to exercise a little bit of thought of like, well, why would this celebrity say this thing about fans? That doesn't make sense to them.
It's kind of crazy. It's like the trades and the studios. It's like they're manipulating both the talent, at least in some cases, and the audience against one another.
I would say the studios are kind of caught in the middle in the same way because they don't have control over the trades. I mean, the studios have been at odds with the trades since the trades began. That's it. Like, Variety does a breaking news. We're like, oh yeah, this actor is going to be in this movie, and it circumvents the announcement that the studios wanted to do. They're going to be like, screw you, trades. Like, we wanted to hold a huge event of this reveal. Now you've just spoiled this reveal to all of our audience and our fans and our potential fans for this project because you wanted to get a scoop and you wanted to sell publications. And it's like, okay, well, what did I just reiterate the mentality up there? What are they thinking about? Their audience, their fans, showing them a good time, and they know what that will do. It brings them a byproduct of money. Because in Hollywood, reputation is the currency because reputation gives you everything else. It gives you access, it gives you financial security, and it gives you opportunity. And if you don't have reputation, you don't have anything. You can go into Hollywood with, millions of dollars, and that'll get you only so far. But if you can't make a good, useful reputation out of that, you are done. And when you hear those stories about people who drove across country with $100 in their car and then, slummed it out on the streets of LA until they got their big break, what they did was they're building a reputation because that's the currency in this industry.
I didn't realize that like that. See, man, this is why we love to have you on. Or you're part of the show, but that's why we like to stream with you, man, because you like lay it out the way it really is.
They offer
Like a lot
some
of people-
really valuable, like first person, insight.
Yeah, I mean,
very
for
helpful.
myself, because I do talk this way, even among my colleagues, it does hurt my own reputation, but it also makes me pretty valuable in other aspects. We're like, yeah, if this thing's not working, we'll bring in Script Doctor. He'll tell us what we don't want to know.
The
Well, I think
truth.
there's something important and valuable about whether or not you ultimately end up agreeing with or aligning with somebody, still having and welcoming another perspective.
Mm.
Especially when it's an educated perspective like yours is. When it comes to the
Educated and-
stuff within
and
the
also
TV and
anecdotal
film
to a
industry.
degree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have that, because I mean we could talk out our butts until we're purple in the face, right? About what we think, and we could be giving genuine opinions and genuine takes on how we view things, and there's a lot to be said about somebody's personal perspective, and a lot of people can relate to that and vibe with that, and that has value, but it's also important to add something that has a layer of more objectivity and more firsthand perspective. And so, despite the fact that you and I disagree on a bazillion things all the time, like I genuinely appreciate the insight and perspective
We like to
that
have
you
a
that you
handful
offer.
of things we disagree on. Come on.
I might have
See, we're disagreeing on
I might have
this.
had
That's
some
what we're doing,
some hyperbole there for sure. But like my point is just such that we can disagree on some things, but I can still value the perspective that you bring to the table,
Oh yeah.
right? And
absolutely.
the
Same for
knowledge
you.
that you bring to the table here. Like that's important to me, because I'd rather more people be informed than not.
No, absolutely. I mean, I love a lot of the channels that are in this space. I listen to them when I can, but I also go try to listen to the contrarian opinions as well. Maybe they'll raise something I didn't know, and whether what that is authentic or fraudulent, I'll be able to make that determination myself. But that variety kind of allows you to have a little bit more time on the subject matter and process it more, and that's one thing that can kind of help out, because again, we all have various bubbles that we're in. It's just like, is it a tight?
It's easy to fall into an echo chamber.
Is it a tight bubble or is it a broad bubble? And we're limited by our own ability to expand that bubble. And for Hollywood in the entertainment industry, it's bubbles within bubbles within bubbles. Like, just go to an old diner, get a glass jar of Coca-Cola, straw, blow into it, all those bubbles coming up. That's Hollywood, exactly as it is. It's 100% like that.
Well, guys, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about? We've gone about 3 hours and 15 minutes by the time we close this out, and I think we've hit, we have one more message from Shrebbles08. But was there any topics that you wanted to discuss this week, or you think we hit everything in a nice way?
Did we avoid
think-
enough of the advertised topics in order to make this a classic WCBS High Council show?
It is.
Right.
We didn't discuss anything that we promised. That's the
No,
real
that's not
red
entirely true.
I
We
know.
touched on the Ridley Scott stuff. We did talk about the we didn't
Indie.
talk about the James Bond stuff. We talked about the indie stuff. So like it's 2 out of 3, right? Best 2 out of 3. That's fine.
Meatloaf would be proud.
Looks like we have like 400 listeners right now, so thank you guys. Thank you.
that's
Yeah,
pretty not bad for us, right? Like I'll
420
take
right
it.
now. It's a good number.
Oh well, nice. There's only one number better than that. So
69, dude.
Mhm.
yes, it is. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Check out the WCBS video. It's coming up in relation to the James Bond stuff,
It's out, folks. I dropped it right as we went on air.
Oh,
because
cool.
that is worth your time. That's worth your while. I will check it out as I'm setting up my coffee maker for the morning, and I consider nobody else in this space a better person to hear their take on when it comes to James Bond stuff than Jeff.
I do love James Bond. I was I built a new bookshelf, and I had to reorganize all my James Bond stuff, and I was like, yep, I really do love James Bond. So Amazon,
Respect.
don't mess it up.
I'm still waiting for like a genuinely good full Mission Impossible movie series 4K box set. One isn't out yet. There's nothing there.
Well, didn't
Final Reckoning was like several months ago at this point.
Okay, it was this year. I'm sorry. That's the thing. I liked that movie. I just don't think about it. Like, it was so well done and enjoyable, and the action was great. And I'm
Yeah,
just
it was
like,
good.
Mission Impossible's over, and I think
It's not my
Mission
favorite
I
one,
checked
but it was
out.
good.
Yeah, not mine either.
I'm just like waiting for the opportunity to like give them money for a full 4K full Mission Impossible movie collector's set, and there's nothing.
Well, I'm
sad.
deep in the James Bond 4K Steelbook collection, so I'm hoping they finish. They could put out another box set. It's a little too late.
I hope
in
they
the
don't
year.
remove all of the guns from the covers for you.
No, they did something weird. The box I would like as just a gig. I would like to go in there and do the James Bond home video releases, because every James Bond home video release has some level of bullshit art, with the exception of like the first runs that had movie posters on them, because it's like the 90s had really weird photoshops and they didn't really match the movies. And
Like
then in the
early Photoshop.
Yeah, and then in
They're
the
trying to come up with
2000s
another brand. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love those. Like, I'm oddly nostalgic for those videotape boxes. I have, on my phone, I have all of them without the text because I found it online. I was like, I have to save these. I'm going to do something with this. That was like 5 years ago. I've never done anything with it, so maybe I should delete it. But, check out, long story short, folks, check out the video. I have another one that's going to drop probably tomorrow night. I've been taking care of business and looking at our analytics to get stuff more out to you guys. So there will be something tomorrow. We'll have a Tron review on Thursday night's show, but we're also having a normal podcast. It's not a Tron.
Oh, you'll have to
episode.
let me know how it is.
Yeah, I watched one in Legacy the other week in preparation for this because I'm so hoping it doesn't suck. But like I said,
Like the trailer looked like kind of cool. If you end up saying it's actually at least kind of a cool looking and fun ride, I might like this weekend go check it out at my local theater, because my theater is like 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I'm more excited to watch it than the Smashing Machine. But sorry, Rock. I only say that as I have a literal shelf of action figures on poster.
I was about to say you have an entire shelf just of him. I get it.
But I had them all as a kid. Most of them came from when I was a kid because I was like the number one fan. I have a foam Brahma bullhound in my living room on a shelf. It lives next to a Michael Myers mask. Anyway, our friend Shrebbles08, who brought us the word of the day, has a request. So you know what we're going to do, Shrebbles08? We're going to use that button as a play out for tonight's show.
Let's do it.
Folks, thank you for watching. Make sure you come back tomorrow, but we'll be back with more pretty much the rest of the week. You're going to have some new WCBS stuff. So until next time, folks, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
Who's that Pokemon?
John Cena!